What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Top of the morning to you, Greg.
Top of the muffin to you! It's from Seinfeld.
Yes.
With an exclamation point.
Yes.
Over here, the Pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm alright.
Wearing that gray polo. Rocking it the only way you know how.
Yeah,
like
on
a badass!
On my body.
On your body, also another
I feel
way
like
to
it's
do
been
it.
weeks since we've all been together.
It has been. We recorded those 2 in a row. Spoiler alert for how we do the show. Then we went to Comic-Con. Colin wasn't there. You guys were stressed out and I never saw you. Now we're back to our regular lives.
Back and
oh,
forth.
finally, I'm sorry, running out the group, of course. The pure one, Tim Gettys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Still searching for a new catchphrase.
I'm trying, man. It's really awkward.
There it is. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, the Game Over Greggy show is simple. Every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. Each bring a random topic of conversation for discussion and your amusement. If you like that and you think we're kind of funny, you go over to GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com each and every Friday and buy the MP3 for $1. It's all we ask. It's the entire show. It's not broken up at all. If we're not worth the $1, don't worry. It's not a big deal. You can wait and go to youtube.com/GameOverGreggy. Monday through Thursday, each and every topic is broken out, and you get to see them as you wish. Then on Friday, the whole show posts again on YouTube. But then you just go over to Bandcamp and buy the other one for $1.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, next week's episode is going to be worth $1.
Next week's is. Why is that?
I would say this week, but if they're listening this week, they're not going to buy it then. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. This week's worth $1. Buy this week.
Tim just broke the laws of
But what does that
space
even
and time.
mean? Then if they're already listening, then you're at best case scenario, they're watching this on Monday, and they're like, "Oh, I should buy the rest of the topics."
I want them to come back. Yeah, I just realized that, but I was trying to get them to come back neck week and buy the topic because I can just. We're going to bring our A game next week. This is our.
What is this, the D game?
No. We're bringing a B plus.
What? I always bring an A minus.
I'm bringing the straight A and maybe a little bit of D today.
Ooh, you're bringing the D?
Here's
Just
the
a little
thing.
bit.
You're bringing a
That
little bit more than
I
a lot
thought
of
you were
us.
going somewhere special because next week there's a special guest joining us.
So I'm excited about this.
Yes.
There's a special guest that we don't even know about. Greg's
Right.
just...
Is it Karl
You know?
Lagerfeld?
I don't even know who Carl Waterfield is.
Is it Tommy Hilfiger?
No, it is not him.
Is it
Hilfinger?
Kel Mitchell?
He wasn't even squeaking this till you took it away from him.
I didn't take it away from him.
You know
It was
what?
on the ground.
You know what?
By the way, real quick, Nick was saying that Tim was traveling through space and time. He is, because I noticed that his watch says March 30th on it.
Nope. That is Martes, which is Spanish for Tuesday.
Oh! Left the goal open on that one, didn't you, Catfield?
But
Catfield.
Yeah.
it is Wednesday today, guys. So my watch
Wait.
is still
So
wrong.
the watch uses the days of the week in Spanish.
And it's not even the right time.
And it's off.
It's all
True, true story. Tim, when he bought that,
no.
I was with him when he bought that watch, and I was like, what kind of functionality do you want in a watch? And he's like, I just want a watch. I don't care if it tells time.
I just want to watch.
I don't care if it has the date. It doesn't matter. I just want to wear a watch.
But then once I heard about the Spanish functionality,
that was it. Because you get to practice your español.
Yeah.
And that's importante.
Very importante. Muy importante.
Está muy importante.
You're
Sorry,
a weird
guys.
one.
Sorry,
You're
everyone.
a weird one.
I am a weird one.
That's why you drink those weird Cokes.
Yeah.
Here's something that's been going around, Nick.
What's that?
Before we get to the business of actually bringing topics, we discussed for a while what to call our viewers.
We did. It was right in front of us the entire time.
What did we decide on finally? We've gone around and we had goats for a while.
We had Jaspers for a while.
We had the scumbags for a while.
We did not have
We never had
for a
scumbags.
while,
You were
so
trying
that
to make
was
this
not
a thing.
That was not
I want everyone out there to know
You
that
wanted
we are
it
so
so bad.
vehemently against using that word, except for Greg, who tried to make it a thing over and over again unilaterally.
And he's so loud, and he's so good at making things.
Because he goes like this. He's kind of sweating after like 10 beers, and he's like, scumbag. And then he just looks like right through you. He's not even looking at you, just through you. And you're like, oh, crap.
And then he called Nick a scumbag, trying to act like that's in any universe.
That's where it started. It started with, how do we describe Nick? And I said scumbag.
Nick's a
And then we went
scumbag.
down.
That guy's a
really
fucking scumbag.
horrible scumbag. And I'm like, that's not cool. You're like, no, that's what they say to people in Ireland.
I think it's a lovable trait.
It's not.
They say a lot of mean things.
Lovable traits like when you call someone Little John, who's like really big. And you're like, we know you're big, but we're just going to call you little because you're,
It's ironic.
Yeah, it's ironic.
We couldn't use that here?
I mean...
Because I guess I mean it in a literal sense.
Yeah,
Kind
you
of a
literally think I'm a
scumbag.
scumbag.
Like some bitch. That's a term of endearment. Some bitch.
We can totally get scumbag to that point.
No.
If you're not open to it, which you
We
clearly
shouldn't
aren't.
open up this fucking can of worms.
Clearly
I'm
aren't.
really not, because scumbag is.
I know it's over. I'm
it's
not even.
derogatory.
You're the one talking about it. I think we could.
I was
could
more-
have made it prorogatory, and it would have been great.
I was more offended that you were calling Nick a scumbag, and trying to act like that's just not one of the worst things you can call someone.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I love you. You are a scumbag. It's like
Douchebag has come around. You
It's
can
like-
call people douchebags, and it's not
Nah,
offensive.
it's
No,
still
you
not a term
can't.
it's not a term of
It's
endearment.
not a thing.
Sadly. He's
It's
my
like
lovable
rewrite my
douchebag.
Father's Day card.
yeah. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know if it works like that.
Great.
It's like,
All right. So,
Getting back
anyways,
to the topic, Greg. Why don't you? It's the Game Over Greggy show.
yeah, but I didn't coin this term. You guys did. I agree 100% with it. I think it's the easiest way.
what?
Tim,
Yes.
tell the
Guys.
audience. Tell them what they are to us.
So the four of us.
Yeah.
And all of you.
Right.
You're our friends. But you're not just our friends. You're our best friends.
You're our best friend.
So if you want to be a best friend of the show, go tell your friends to be best friends. We are now all best friends. Gathering around this table.
This table.
Do we need to change? How do we need to change that part of it now?
Well, I just say we are the
sometimes
75,000
five.
best friends that anyone can have. We're the 75,000 best friends
That's just a rip off.
75,000.
that anyone can
You're
have.
ripping off the Hangover.
Maybe we have a much bigger number. There's power
Four.
in numbers.
Sometimes five if we include you. You got to tell me in the comments below.
We'll think about that.
Yeah, wait,
but
one
thanks
on
so
that
much for being friends, guys. And thanks so
Well,
much for supporting the show.
Yeah, no, I guess they are kind of around the table.
Travel back again. Damn, you had it. I didn't get
Why
it.
are you guys singing the last lyrics of the song and then going back to somewhere in the middle of the song? Greg's the worst in music because
And if you throw a party,
And invited everyone you knew.
you would see
The biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for being a friend."
now this is when Greg goes back to the first verse.
travel around the world and back again.
But the real, like, Greg and I have done some of those videos where I play the guitar and Greg will sing. And I have to instruct Greg. I'm like, you don't come in early. You come in when you're supposed to come in. Greg doesn't understand how music works.
True,
in that sense.
Every
he just
single
kind
time.
of does whatever he wants. Like when we're singing a song and you like just jump right to the next level. You gotta sing. in
No,
your
see,
head.
that's the problem. Is that Colin thinks music matters, and that the beats and the drums and all this shit is what makes music music. What makes music is the soul, man.
yeah.
You got to get out there.
Man.
And I'm sorry, Colin, if I'm a little too Aretha Franklin for you, where it's gonna change every time I sing it. But I could say all filler.
Or I guess what also makes music
we gotta
is
put you to bed.
your continual insistence to confuse the Beastie Boys with Deep Purple.
Oh, no one knows that story.
Oh, that's a great story. So every time we start the camera, Greg has to sync.
No,
This
every
is
time
clock.
you say something and I go
I said,
to.
Greg, I'm about to roll the camera. Can you sync your clock so we know how much time has passed? And he goes, yes, I'm ready. And I go, 3, 2, 1, kick it.
Down, 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 down.
And
It's so good.
It's no one to go.
I think it's the same. Those two chords are the same.
They're
bar
not.
chords.
They're not the
Wait,
same.
wait,
They're
think
the
of-
same
where's-
chords
no,
and
listen,
wrong
listen,
progression.
So I'm trying to. Oh, I gotta pull it up now.
No,
I
it's
think
bop.
those are. Kick it. Ding. Yeah, I honestly think that the like
The
two
chord,
of those three
the
chords
notes
are the
might
same.
be the same,
That's
but
what
they're
I'm
not
saying.
the same progression. They're
Yeah.
Oh, no, the progression's
They're
not the
just
same.
a different rhythm. Anyway,
I still can't remember what comes next.
Kick it.
What's the real chords? It's all ruined. Don't do it where we have to go copyright strike.
I'm not gonna get the copyright strike.
Tim, tell him.
I'm blanking right now.
No, I mean the copyright strike.
Oh, yeah, no. Copyrights happen. Strikes.
Copyrights
Thanks,
happen.
YouTube.
Copyrights do happen. That's
Yeah,
true.
they do.
how much different would the world be if there were no such thing as a copyright strike? I would put up full movies online.
I mean, it'd be like Twitch is now.
Here, put it in my ear. That way we can plausibly deny that we put it to the microphone.
Yeah, those chords are the same.
yeah, but it's bum
It's-
bum bum
Yeah,
bum.
but so then we're talking.
Yeah.
What are we
Greg's
talking
like,
about?
gar, gar, gar,
I'm just doing it
gar,
slow. I just need
gar,
this
gar,
little
gar.
Bum, bum, bum. That's the bum.
Like, I think that they're just inverted.
Jesus.
It's the best podcast ever. Thanks for being a best
What have
friend.
we talked
I
about?
told
for
you
the
guys
last
next
few
week.
minutes?
God damn it. So,
We're the weirdest
where
people.
are we at?
Nick,
I'm trying to
Yes,
hear it.
it's my topic.
your time to lead.
Thanks everyone who decided to click on those videos. The one that won, and remember, if you have a topic, please tweet it at me at Nick_Scarpino.
To bring you up to speed, because it's still a new thing. You tweet these topics.
Tweet 'em at
from
me.
day one, you've been bringing topics from the community to the table. That's what you do.
Makes
so
me
what we
happy.
started doing now is that you do the topic that is
Right.
picked from the community that you voted on this.
Right.
At the end of the topics, we put up the 2 choices. You click on them, then you like the video. Don't leave a nice comment and like the comment. That's what Nick said originally. You like the video, you vote on that
Thumbs
one.
up the comment.
If you like topic number 1, click on the water glass.
Again,
on-
nothing is up yet.
If
Click
you
on
like
this
the
glass.
we gotta
second topic, click on the Coke
click on
bottle.
the tip of Tim's nose.
I was wondering where you're going with that one, and you
I
ended up on
went,
nose.
I went soft with it.
Yeah.
I didn't go hard.
All right. So who won from last?
So
week's
the person
poll?
that won last week's poll is
won.
at Necturn, who said, "Hey Nick, topic idea. If you were given complete control of a beloved franchise, how would you run it into the ground?" Cheers.
I really like that.
So the question is, what franchise would it be, and how would you run it into the ground? This could be casting someone in it. It could be taking a dev team and putting it on a game that you love. It could be making a game that you love, a completely different game, like a side scroller or top down. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? What's it
I
going
think
to be?
we should stick to movies and movie
You wanna go movie franchises?
we wanna
Okay.
ruin. To narrow it down. See, I put Darth Vader up originally for the vote because you think of a franchise that got ruined. Colin's in my head. I hear him yakking about Grievous, Star Wars ruined. But now I get to ruin something cherished to somebody.
Again, you ruin things every day.
What did I ruin? Well, yeah, but not on a wide.
Classic.
It's
Greg.
really just you. I really just ruin things for you.
Yeah.
So now I get to ruin something. I don't know. I don't have a good answer yet. On a wide. I mean, I jumped to Star Trek, but it's so easy because I'm thinking Star Wars. But Star Trek's had this resurgence. You know what I mean? It had the really popular fan base for a while. The TV show was doing well. They had the Patrick Stewart. Everybody liked him.
Oh, so good.
Then the movies came out. And the movies, better than the TV shows. They're bringing people in. And people weren't as offended with the movies. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trekkies. But the
People
Trekkies
were pretty
seem-
offended with the movies.
But they weren't as offended in
they
Star
were-
Wars.
they
Star
were-
Wars is like rotten cheese if
Right.
you're a Star Wars nerd.
Well, it's because that's all you had for the longest time with Star Wars. At least Star Trek, you've got 5 series to compare to the movies. You've got the original series. You've got a long lineage of good stuff that came before it that you have kind of a right to be pissed off if they screw something up. But at the same time, you can't be that pissed off because go back and watch Deep Space Nine like I'm doing right now, which is on par with Voyager. Not quite better, not quite worse just yet. But I'll keep you guys posted.
I mean, it'd be easy to do Batman. Do a new Batman movie and make it really crappy. Like, you know what I mean?
But
Ruin
why
it.
would you? What's your goal?
How do you make it?
What's the
crappy?
goal? It just said, how would you ruin a beloved franchise? It wasn't. It didn't say anything.
Oh, I
about
thought it was. Sorry, I took it as which one do you want to run into the ground?
Oh, do we want to do it that way?
How would you run it into the ground?
Oh, just
Was the
how?
question.
Yeah,
Which
but I
one
mean-
would you want, and how would you run it?
Okay,
into
then
the
I got to
ground?
rethink.
Yeah, because like, why would you like? There's a million ways how to run things in the ground.
So,
but
for instance,
what's the
you would
motivation?
take Fast and Furious.
Yeah, but why would I ever want to do that?
It's the question of how would you do it? Is the more
Set
fun?
it in 19th century England, and it's all about horse racing.
That would
I
actually
know,
be
man.
baller.
Pretty fast.
Hit the
Dude.
nose!
All right, we're talking.
That horse has got nose!
We're talking a little too much about procedural issues, so let's talk about Game of Thrones. I would take Game of Thrones and ruin it by deviating completely from the books because I know that would just drive everyone insane. Now I know that they've deviated a little bit, left some characters out,
A little bit.
but I would just kind of go in a completely random
But
direction
why?
with it, just to annoy everyone. Well, I mean, we're
Yeah,
talking
why
about,
would you do any of this?
I don't know.
Why
I
did
mean,
Sam Raimi ruin Spider-Man with Spider-Man 3? He just did.
I mean, we're asking these questions, but this was the topic that was brought up.
Yeah,
So
we're
I
not
don't
saying
have
this is a
any
good- this is- We're not saying
reasons.
this is a good idea. This is the topic that was
You
submitted.
have to do this. There's a
How-
gun to your
how would you do
family's
it?
when I
head.
hear that, I immediately think like, which franchise would I want to kill right now,
Yeah.
so that later can be brought back
Sure.
better?
Which one would you bring? Which one would you kill?
I don't
Transformers.
know. I'm trying to think. That's perfect. Oh man, I would have loved to ruin Transformers, so that it has a chance in like 5-10 years to like actually come back as a completely different.
They'll
thing.
remake it anyway.
Yeah, but no,
They'll
they're
just keep
not.
going.
They're just gonna keep remaking the same thing.
They'll throw in like Josh Hartnett or like Taylor Kitsch next, and it'll be awesome.
Like if we actually got a real reboot this time, that would have been awesome. But we didn't.
We got Mark
We got like a
Wahlberg.
soft reboot that wasn't. a reboot.
a Transformer. Is that a Transformer? I think I found it.
Yeah, spoilers. It was.
Spoilers.
Optimus
It was
Prime.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
I only saw the first Transformers movie, and it was too fast. The action was all muddled, and so I never went and saw any of the other ones because also I just didn't care. I didn't understand why they were taking something that should be cheesy and silly, like in the '80s respect, and make it into something that's a little more of like a serious action movie. It's the same thing with G.I. Joe. When Rise of Cobra came out, I think that's the first one, the first G.I. Joe, right?
I think that was the second one.
Oh, okay, well I went to the first one. Maybe that was just G.I. Joe.
I think it was G.I. Joe.
I went with Hillary Goldstein, our old editor in chief.
Oh no, the first one was Rise of Cobra. I think the second one was Retaliation.
And I'm a
Retaliation.
big G.I. Joe fan. Like big old G.I. Joe fan. I fucking love G.I. Joe.
How tall are you?
What?
You're a big G.
Oh, okay. I don't like that joke.
Greg's
I've
in one of
been-
his moods, by the way.
I was having great jokes.
And I
about
was so disappointed about how just terrible it was. You know, like G.I. Joe has always been like comical without trying to be comical. It was like campy and weird, you know, and everyone's in bright colors, and the villains especially are like amazing. It's an amazing cast of like just awesome villains with awesome get-ups on and stuff like that, and they just made it all serious in an action movie. That always disappointed me, so I just feel like they took these two great things from my childhood, Transformers and G.I. Joe, and just fucking mainstreamed the shit out of them for the 21st century and ruined them. You know? So like
problem
how do you take one of these franchises and ruin them? Do what they did with Transformers. Do what
See,
they did with G.I. Joe.
That's the problem when I stop to think about this question and I start running through franchises to ruin in my head. Transformers, I think, is already ruined. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, mate, what?
Definitively.
And you're like, what am I sick of? I'm like, I don't know, Saw. Well, no, that Saw is ruined. It's been around too much. You know
Saw
what I
was
mean?
awesome in the beginning. Remember that?
Paranormal Activity is
was
coming
awesome
back
for
around. Paranormal Activity got weak there in the end, but it's coming. It's going to rebound here. I totally believe in Paranormal Activity.
No, but see, the thing about Transformers though is for as bad as the movies are, the movies brought the best series the show ever had. So it's like because of the shittiness, there had to be someone that was like, oh fuck, we need to do something with this. It brought Transformers to the public eye in a way it hasn't been since '96 with Beast Wars, and before that, the damn '80s.
yeah.
You know, and it's just
So you're
like,
saying the ends justify the means?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a necessary evil. So that's what I'm saying. I want to ruin the movies even more. And when I say, this is weird, I'm going on some weird sneaky stuff. Because it's like, I need to get these movies. I need to ruin the movies financially. I need to make these
Yeah, they
movies
can't make
not
money.
perform. Yeah. It's not about ruining the franchise at that point. It's about ruining Michael
Bottom
Bay.
line. Yeah.
Because as far as I understand, like I read a lot of Variety on the train. I'm not much of an entertainment guy, but it comes up on Drudge every once in a while and stuff, and they always talking about how these movies are bombing or not making as much money. Even the new Transformers movie, it didn't bomb, but it didn't make like as much money as they thought. But then the overseas take always makes every movie profitable. Like
China's the big deal now, right?
yeah, well, with that movie, but I think even like what was that really big Disney disaster?
Frozen?
No, Frozen.
Maleficent.
No, the
Princess and the Frog.
the
Lone
one about
Ranger.
the Lone Ranger. Yeah, like that movie apparently bombed, but like they made still like a ton of money overseas, and I don't know if it like became profitable, but everyone talks about it like it's this bomb, but like actually they might have like actually kind of broken even on it.
Yeah, there's something like 35 overseas markets that people like target to actually make money. The biggest of which is China, obviously, and now everyone's super scared because China is now starting to make their own films, and they have for years, but now they're flirting with making their own blockbuster films. And if that's the case, then basically our entire market will just collapse in the States. If they don't need our films anymore, if Hollywood isn't seen as Hollywood in the rest of the world, that's going to be dangerous for the
Well, they
industry.
better start making some new movies and stop rebooting everything.
Well, when you think about it, though, when they reboot all this stuff, like with Transformers and Fast and Furious, it's not a reboot, but like all these things, when you look at it, so much of the films take place internationally, and like that's why. Like Transformers 4, half of it was in China. It's because they're marketing to China because they know that's where they're going to make the money. Fast and Furious is always in like 10 million different places because they're like trying to like appease
Well,
those people.
they also get money from China, so the Chinese government will pay if you have a movie in their country that makes their country look awesome.
Should we
Well,
shoot
they're great.
this show there?
I want
every
that China money.
We're not in China.
It's
week?
just
Might as well be.
China,
We're in the
I
sun.
don't know.
I just think that the movie industry is in for a collapse anyway, just because budgets. It's like gaming. Budgets are too big. There's too many movies. People only have a certain amount of time and money to spend on these things, and there's no new ideas. It's just totally vapid. Like I look at like some of these movies, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where are the good ideas? Like the last really, I don't want to say the last one, but like one of the last movies I can really think of that was like a really bold new idea that felt fresh, and was interesting and was exciting was Inception. When you like think about a movie like that, I was like, that's fucking dope. You know?
Did you see
And
the
they-
trailer for Interstellar? His next movie.
yeah, that one looks
cool.
rad too. And like I like these, like we talked about it, I think with Inception. Like I didn't realize that like a lot of the principal actors on that took like no money to make that movie because no one really believed it was going to do well, and they decided that like they were going to take a take of the tickets, and they ended up making a fortune because they believed in the product. And I I don't know much about movies, but I just see a lot of the ones that aren't commercials for on TV or whatever that I see, and I'm just like, none of this looks good. It's like this. It's a Marvel movie. It's a fucking superhero movie. It's
Yeah,
like
but even
blah,
if it
blah,
doesn't
blah, blah,
look
blah,
good,
blah, blah.
it's still making more money. And every time these movies comes out, they just break more records. That's the thing. As long as these movies keep breaking records, like movies aren't going away.
I don't think movies are going away, but it's unsustainable. And remember that, like, the take at the box office is not adjusted for inflation. It's not adjusted for, everyone talks about like Gone with the Wind or like some of these great movies, A New Hope, Titanic, even. Like, these movies, I think more people saw Titanic than saw some of the movies that are breaking records in 21st century because the tickets were cheaper. It's about how much money they're making now. They're selling tickets for $15.
We also didn't have 3D and IMAX as prevalent as it is now. So a lot of that you can't really account for, too.
The good old days.
That's now.
No. Before all
Back
that
when
crap.
they stopped charging
When
you
it's just
$15
a
for a
normal
3D
movie.
ticket. Yeah.
You don't have to
terrible.
worry about your friends who want to see it in 3D or IMAX. But you just go see the movie.
Go see it.
It's on the screen.
It's just unsustainable.
I want it off the
It's
screen.
totally unsustainable. There might be one or two, just like there are one or two big blockbuster games a year, right? Like Grand Theft Auto 5 made $1 billion in a day. Like, Call of Duty will come out or whatever, and that's gonna be big. Then it's gonna be smaller. Destiny's gonna be big. But like, think about all the games that come out in between that kind of just fall through the cracks. And there's a lot of movies too, except for the investment in a lot of these movies is greater. So I look at it like, the stock market's booming right now. Well, it's unsustainable, and so is the housing market in San Francisco, and so is all of these different things. And the movie industry is just unsustainable too. They have to get their budgets back in check, make some new movies. No one wants. They reboot random shit that no one wants. Why are you rebooting Total Recall?
Right.
First of all, what was wrong with the original Total Recall? That was a great movie. Why are you rebooting it?
They are rebooting Goosebumps.
Yeah,
That's
Goosebumps
crazy.
is getting a movie.
Wait, hold on.
Top
Time out. Is Goosebumps the movie a reboot of Goosebumps? There was no Goosebumps movie before in a theater.
Well, series.
No,
yeah, there was
there's
awesome books. There was an awesome TV show, but there wasn't a movie.
I mean, there was TV movies, but yeah, this movie's actually just
It's about R.L. Stein and his monsters. It seems cool.
it's taking all of the different like storylines into one.
Yeah, it seems cool.
thing.
It's a good
I'm
idea.
excited.
Yeah, it's got me interested.
I
I read
read
those books.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, I
love
read
the
the
Goosebumps.
books too. Were you?
I want an
He was
Animorphs
too
movie.
old.
That'd be dope.
You want
A
what?
what?
Animorphs movie.
Oh, they said
Where's that
Animaniacs.
go?
Really
I thought you said Adam West movie. I was like,
I'd go for an Adam
I'd
West
love
movie
that.
too.
Him
Yeah.
turning into a bat on the cover.
Guys, I'm a
Seeing
bat.
that morph scene.
That was my Adam
It's
West.
pretty bad.
Do your
Like your shit. It was like
what
a
were you
Shatner.
doing? Your Alan Rickman?
Alan Rickman. You want it?
Yeah.
You got it. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's not even close. It's like it's 0%.
That's what he says.
That's
That's
what he
spot on.
says.
I close my eyes. Am I in that scene in Die Hard? Yippee!
Alan, is that you?
Motherfucker. Spot on.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
If Walken was playing that,
I hope more movies. Yeah, I hope rather than remake stuff, they re-release them. Ghostbusters is coming back out.
Yeah.
I always hope that if that does extremely
Okay,
well,
getting
people
back to
would
the-
see.
Getting
they
back to
should
the
do it.
question, how would you ruin Ghostbusters? It's about to come out.
I would make a third one, or I would reboot it, because it's gonna be fucking trash when it comes out. It's
think?
gonna be all slapstick and stupid. It's all gonna be all green screen and shitty effects and
What
stupid
if-
Ben Stiller jokes. I guarantee Ben Stiller somehow attached this project. I guarantee this is a
What
new
if- okay,
Ghostbusters film
I'm
has
gonna-
the stink of Ben Stiller all over it.
I'm going to throw out this cast for you.
This one is
Okay.
dedicated to you, Ben Stiller.
I'm going to throw out the
Crazy
cast for you.
motherfucker.
This is the cast in the new Ghostbusters.
Here, let's go.
Okay, Michael B. Jordan.
I don't know who that is.
He's the kid from The Wire. He's great.
Chronicle.
He's also in
Thank
Chronicle.
you for a popular movie he's been in.
Yeah, The Wire is just arguably the best
He
TV
was in that
show of
awkward
all
moment.
time.
Okay,
He
so
was in the awkward. Oh,
That
awkward moment.
yeah.
The Zac Efron friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's him.
Zac
got-
Efron.
You're probably gonna have
John,
Zac
I love
Efron.
Zac Efron.
The other
You're
guy
gonna have
from that moment.
You're gonna have
The
Channing
awkward moment.
Tatum,
Okay.
and you're gonna have Jonah Hill. Those
Yeah.
are your Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I knew Jonah Hill would be in this too.
Are you okay with that cast?
No, I don't want them to. I mean, first off, that cast is fine. That's
Yeah.
a fine cast of gentlemen. I enjoy their works and their wares.
Right.
I don't need them to be in this movie. I don't.
And the
we
whole
don't
time
need.
they're talking about ghost penis. There's like ghost penis in the movie.
And here's the other thing: you're totally blowing past. There'll be a female Ghostbuster this time around.
You think
your
so?
cast is already invalid.
What if it was Emma Stone?
Zoe Saldana.
Who is Zoe Saldana?
Oh, she's hot. Guardians of the Galaxy.
She is in too many things. I do not want her.
Emma Stone.
This isn't up to you wanting. It's what you don't want.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
This is ruining
Of course, she should be Janine. She can be the new Janine.
Sally Jesse, right? You know she's older than Annie Potts. You can just get Annie Potts.
Emma Stone, yeah. Emma Stone is another good pick, but she's. See,
Zac Efron.
you're picking a bunch of people who are played out.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
With the exception of Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. No, that is his name. Michael B. Jordan is a badass.
Sorry, I didn't throw
need
the
the
B.
B. I
Sorry,
don't
I didn't
know.
throw the
It changed
fucking
it.
B
I
in
want
the middle
Michael
of it.
Jordan in
It'll
it.
be Zac Efron, Michael B. Jordan, and reintroducing Sally Jesse Raphael.
as Annie Potts' character that I can't remember her name.
Janine.
Janine. Whose special
Slimer.
guest appearance by Geraldo Rivera.
See, that's gonna be a thing too. They're gonna have some stupid celebrity voice for a ghost in there, like a bunch of assholes.
It'll
I want to
Bill
be the
Murray.
person that voiced Casper in the '90s movie.
What if, I'm throwing this out there, the cast that I just named has to fight the old Ghostbusters because they're dead now and they're ghosts.
That's actually a fun one. I like that. I like that
They
baseline. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, they shouldn't.
Or they have to get on like Bill Murray's ghost to help them out a little bit. It's the ghost of Bill
See,
Murray.
even that's the problem is doing that. It's gonna be the caricature Bill Murray. It's not gonna be Venkman. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's gonna be this like goofy Venkman ghost.
Oh, Venkman was so
But here's the thing you guys are missing. See, like, and Greg and I don't see eye to eye really on a lot
On
of these
anything.
movies. Like, I think Ghostbusters is good. I don't think it's great. I think Back to the Future is good. I don't think it's great. There are many better '80s movies,
Whoa, what?
but many better '80s movies, like Indiana Jones, for instance. But why do we need to go? This is what I'm talking about. Leave Ghostbusters the fuck alone. Like, that lives in its space and time, and it's good. It's fine. It's what they should have done with Indiana Jones before they fucking ruined it. You know, and it's certainly what they should have done with Star Wars before they ruined it. So. I feel like this is what I'm saying. New ideas, fresh ideas. Get these actors to, get a writer in a fucking room
This is the same
and
problem.
make something new.
This is the same problem with video games that we're always talking about. Like sequels sell. Falling back on a brain people know will get them out to see it. That's why they do it, and it sucks. And that's why we keep coming back to the same thing.
I like to think that there's a few people that are attached to these projects that are like, I really want to see another Ghostbusters. Like, I never got into the Ghostbusters when I was a kid, and I really want to be back in that world.
Yeah.
And sometimes, every once in a while, you'll get a franchise that's rebooted because of that, and good things happen.
See, I think that's on TV. You see that a lot with TV.
I can't think of an example.
Can't think of a
That's the
single
thing. I can't
example
think
of
of an
that
example
right
for
now.
movies either. But like, and going back to what I was just saying about Transformers, the best Transformers show ever just happened, and that's because people that are like our age are like doing that stuff, like that grew up with it. Like, this is what I would want out of this. And Ninja Turtles, same thing. The Ninja Turtle show going right now. Sorry, everybody, it's the best Ninja Turtle show, hands down. And that's because it's people. It's like Colin making a Ninja Turtle show. You know what you want that to be.
It's all
That's
political.
what this show
They're
is.
taking down despots and stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I finally saw, because it's like on TV now, like the Ninja Turtle. Like, I just avoided it because I just feel like it's kind of sacrilegious to do like this Ninja Turtles, the shit that they're doing now. But I saw like what they look like in the movie. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's like 9
Are
feet
you
tall.
fucking kidding me with the way the Ninja Turtles look in that movie? Like, look at the 1989 movie and how perfect that is. It's fucking perfect.
They were perfect.
It was perfect.
They were
And when you watch it
perfect.
today,
They
it
were
really,
spot on perfect.
dude, it was awesome. Like, it was totally awesome. Like, it worked. It,
was
just
so
worked.
good.
Everyone in that movie is awesome. And you know how I have a huge thing for Casey Jones, and he was like, he was like so amazing in that movie. And this is what they have now. Leonardo in a fucking Pizza Hut commercial stabbing a goddamn pizza, looking like an idiot. Donatello has all this fucking shit all over his face. Like, I'm like,
Gadgets. Gizmos. Come
it's
on,
too
man.
much. It's too, and this is what I'm saying. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah,
leave it
there's more need to be
alone.
made. Like, Spider-Man had to deliver mail for those commercials. Do you see those? Where it's like, how are we going to
yeah.
get this mail there fast?
Spider-Man.
And then
he's
take
gonna
it.
sell it from.
And then they
the
had,
get.
but then they had the guy. We'll get the cranes for you, Spider-Man.
Spidey, we're gonna swing these cranes over.
Let me just call everyone that's clearly not working tonight.
10:45 on a Friday.
Get him down on my cool radio. I'm C. Thomas
I know they
Howell.
evacuated the whole town, but we're all doing we only do the crane work block by block, and we all work on one street as we go. It's New York, am I right? Hey.
That's the best part of that movie.
That was a pretty good. That was pretty good. A consistent accent.
Thank you.
that
That's
was
the
good.
one accent I do correctly.
Do you want to hear my New York accent?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
It's fine. Get the crane. Move it. Hey.
Move it.
Move it over to the thing. Rotate it. The crane.
That's also pretty
Thanks,
good.
guys.
That's also pretty
That's
good.
really
That's my
good.
New York accent.
I just finished watching The Sopranos because my girlfriend never saw it. I really love that show. And just the accents just bring me home, and they're just so good. Like, yeah, like when some. That's my favorite thing because my family, and I'm sure your family does that too. When someone's like, we're all gathered around eating or just talking, and someone says something like inappropriate, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
like everyone like
The
does
old
that.
school,
Like,
the,
it's so
yeah,
awesome.
the older Italians
Yeah.
definitely do that. They'll just do that for anything.
And even my brother does because my brother is an old man Italian now.
Is he?
So, oh yeah,
I
he's
can't
40,
wait. Oh, I can't wait.
and so he's just an old Italian man now, just straight up.
I just desperately want to be like a size 48 pants, wearing it around my like tits, because that's how far they have to wear them up there to keep them up, like right above the gut line. And then every time the pasta hits the table, I'm super excited for it, but I don't show it my O. I give them an O of like I'm disappointed. I was like, oh,
Really?
even though I'm gonna eat the hell out of that
Why
pasta.
would you do that?
Because all old Italian men are disappointed.
Oh.
They just are.
Where's the gabagool?
Hey, oh,
Oh, Where's the Prezette?
Where's my seat?
Swing that crane over that Spider-Man.
It's fine. Spider-Man's in the air. Let's
that
help.
out?
All right,
Hey.
so to ruin a movie franchise,
help 'em
just
out.
keep doing what you're doing in Hollywood. That's
Yeah.
the way. That's
I was
the
gonna
answer.
say something
just ruin
like
everything.
make the Halo movie, but cast like someone really terrible as
Who?
Master Chief,
Who is your chief?
Sally Jesse Raphael.
like a Pauly Shore.
So
Holy shore.
Like
That would be
imagine that
fucking awesome.
if he got yacked out, or like remember when we saw Freddie Prinze Jr. when he was in Comic-Con,
Yeah.
and you're like, why is he so buff? Because he's huge. I'm like, what if you did Freddie Prinze Jr.? Actually, he'd probably make a badass Master
yeah, you
Chief.
could.
I take that back.
I think we like Freddie Prinze, don't we?
I love Freddie
Isn't
Prinze
he?
Jr.
He's appreciated.
Do we like him? Do we like
in the
Freddie
nerd
Prinze Jr.?
universe?
I love
I like
Freddie
him.
Prinze.
Yeah, who doesn't
You know why?
like
I'll tell you
Freddie
one
Prinze
reason why.
She's all that.
He was on 3 episodes of Psych. And he was
Psych's so good.
awesome. He was
Psych's
awesome
really
on it. He started off as like a dude who was like buffed out, dating a hot chick, but then by the end of the episode, you figure out that he's a nerd, and he's been hiding that from her the whole time. But she's also been hiding the fact that she's a nerd from him.
Oh.
So it's awesome. He has like a man cave
It always reminds you though. She's all that. That movie used to infuriate the fuck out of me when I was like.
because they were like, dude, that girl's hideous.
I know, like that girl's so hot. Like, what are you talking about?
Rachel
Also-
Lee
Like,
Cook.
what are you?
also did a whole season of Psych. Everyone came back to Psych at some point. It was amazing.
Dude, it's so like Greg and I talked about that. It's just so ridiculous.
Oh, she was
like
hot.
she's arguably hotter as the artist chick.
Then she was the
Yeah,
rest of the
like
movie.
what? Yeah, like and I'm like, and everyone was like, this chick's fucking hideous. I'm like, what the? What are you talking about?
Paul
like,
Walker's
she's
the guy in there, right?
gorgeous. Yeah, he's in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the,
He's the bad
guy
guy.
that
Wait,
makes
this
the-
this reminds me. So they make fun of that storyline in Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I just remembered that like a week ago. That Chris Evans.
Dude.
Chris Evans, talented man.
He was
Not a
awesome.
team-
man.
not
That
a
movie was
team.
awesome.
Not Another Teen Movie is awesome. My favorite thing was that they make fun of Varsity Blues.
And they have Billy Bob play
yeah,
Billy Bob.
yeah, and he's like, he has like he's like all fucked up, and he has a concussion. And the coach is just fucking like,
Yeah.
has him like taped to like the guy next to or whatever. I was like, that's brilliant stuff. That was the beginning of the Scary Movie whole.
Yeah.
Well, Scary Movie was first, wasn't it?
Scary Movie was first. I
Yeah,
think, and then
Scary
Not
Movie
Another Teen
first. I remember we lost. I've never seen a theater come apart like
Yeah.
for that trailer because none of us knew what it was. This is before the internet was like showing you everything.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there for whatever movie we were watching. I think American Pie maybe or something along those lines.
hell yeah.
And Scream had already been so huge, and that trailer came on and the place and they did like the "Was Up"
Yeah.
thing with the mat. Oh Jesus, so good.
Scary Movie 2 even.
Yeah, I saw.
Hilarious.
Yeah, Scary Movie 2 was good.
Was that the one with Chris? Where they're in the mansion?
In the mansion, like to go to the door
right.
and there's the balls.
That's the guy with the hand. Like, take my hand.
yeah. That's great. What the hell's that guy's name?
Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott, dude. Did you guys ever see Cabin Boy?
Yes.
It's genius. Genius.
Did you ever
I
watch the
don't-
show Get a Life?
Yes, it was genius.
Yeah, and it was. And God, everyone hated that show. It was so good. So good.
I thought it was so funny. I was a huge Chris Elliott fan back in the day, and I don't know where his career went.
He just,
He
he's
dropped
got that
off.
Chris Elliott money now.
He made all the money and residuals off Groundhog Day, and he's like, peace.
Oh, that movie was so good.
I got to give a shout out though. The first 3 Scary Movies I actually think are really funny.
3?
Yeah, the
No,
first
dude, 3 fell
Because
apart.
no, 3 is the one with Leslie Nielsen in it. Like at the end when he plays the president, he's like fucking hilarious in that movie. Like that was one of his last roles, and it was like really
Also has Dirt Nasty.
It was really really fun. I thought I saw that in the theater.
I thought after one they all
I'd say
started falling apart.
It's
No,
no,
2
it's,
is awesome.
It's
I
no
don't-
Joe
I don't
Dirt.
remember liking it.
It's no Joe
Joe
Dirt.
Dirt's amazing.
Joe Dirt.
That movie's rough. That movie's fucking rough.
Go down to Whamburger, get yourself some French fries.
See, Joe Dirt was a special thing for me because I was at the perfect age that the whole him and the hot air balloon. I can see down your shirt. Oh God, my entire class would go on the roof of my school and just scream at 3rd grade girls.
What are these
but
kids
whatever.
doing? They're
Why are those
quoting
kids
Joe
on the
Dirt.
roof? Why are there kids on the
Was
roof?
that when
of
you
the
jumped
school?
off the? Was that when you jumped off the roof?
I did not jump off the roof. I cried on the roof.
Oh, okay.
Nick,
Yes.
we've come to the point now where people get to vote on your next topic.
All right, guys. So we have 2 more topics from Twitter. If you made it this far in this episode, congratulations. You get to pick on next week. So click. Are they clicking somewhere?
Yeah, topic one's
So
over
topic
there.
1's over there, and topic
Topic.
1's going to be pros and cons of having kids. Topic 2 is going to be how to get over a breakup. So
Man.
click on both of them, watch both of them,
Wait,
and then like whichever one you want to actually be the topic next
So I was playing with this dog.
What
What's
are the
that?
topics?
Pros and cons of having kids, and how to get over a bad
Okay,
breakup.
so if you want to talk about pros and cons of having kids, click on Superman's face here.
If you
Just that one pixel.
If you want to talk about what was the other one?
how to get over a bad
How
breakup,
to get over a bad
Oh,
breakup.
it's over there.
you can click
Click,
over there.
click on Tim's
nipple
nipple.
on his left nipple,
Left
on his
nipple?
right, yeah,
His
on the
left
left
nipple.
nipple.
Yeah.
The hairy one,
Pixel perfect.
It's
Yep.
the hairy or one of the two.
Tim, what's your topic?
What are the unsexiest things about
Oh,
sex?
jeez.
We've been missing a Tim topic for a while, so you're welcome.
How do you feel when people yell at you about, or yell just in general about the thumbnails on the YouTube shows?
I'm just like, guys, come on.
You make
Just so you know, I'm the guy that makes the thumbnails on these videos.
My favorite was when the Emma Watson one was used on the super fight thing, and there was a thread about like, why does he keep using these over sexualized images?
And it was just her like
it's her
shaking
as a
someone's
girl.
hand.
Like
And we talked about Hermione.
I made the conscious decision to not use a sexy picture of her. Many exist. I was like, no, we're just talking about her as a person.
Super fight video. Go check it out.
With tight clothes on.
She wasn't.
Well, that's just how the game says that.
Yeah,
but
well,
not
we
the
talk
car.
about worse things than the thumbnail.
So what are the unsexy
Yes.
things about sex?
This comes up.
I can't wait to see where the origin is.
It's not even that bad. It's just I realize, I'm undressed. She's undressed. I still have socks on.
Oh, and then have to hop out of your
Then
socks.
it's just like,
That's a pain in the butt.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
well, now we got to do this. Do I leave them on? Do I not? And here's the thing. Quick story about Tim Gettys.
Please tell me.
I don't care about wearing socks during sex. Never bothered me. Never really thought that was a weird thing to do.
Sure.
My feet, my little toesies, they're a little chilly.
yeah.
Girls do not like that shit. They think socks are weird as fuck.
Well, socks are very weird. They're not natural socks. We weren't.
That was good. That was good. That was good. I like that.
Let me tell you about the sock.
It's not just a girl thing.
Really?
Guys don't like it. T.S. and Mallrats doesn't like it.
I don't mind if my wife wears socks.
I could care less.
Like,
Okay.
I could
Are we having
totally-
sex? Wear
That's
as
the
much
thing,
or
it's
as
like-
little as you want.
I don't prefer it. I just like, why would you care? But like a lot of my friends, I remember a long time ago, like they were making fun of someone like, yeah, dude, he wears socks during sex. I'm like, is that a weird thing? Like, yeah, oh my God, that's like such a turnoff. I'm like, oh, good to know.
And take off socks when you're making whoopee or whatever the hell you call it. He hates when you leave them on.
The most unsexy part of sex is afterwards. When
Yeah.
you're done.
And now I'm gonna go clean.
I gotta go.
Awkward hop.
I gotta go clean up now.
Yeah.
God Almighty, it's just horrifying to
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah, it's
I
just.
don't like the
a heart.
smell of latex.
Mm.
That's not a turn
That
on
ain't
for me.
sexy.
No.
I haven't smelled the smell of latex in years. You know what I mean?
You got a vasectomy.
Yeah.
I think the thing I find least attractive about sex, not anymore so much, but when I was single, was how much money it costs you. Not in a prostitution sort of way, but like
Nick.
when you would go on dates, it would be like
Expensive.
$300, $200,
unsexy.
and
Where
you're
the
like,
fuck are you taking these people?
I date high class prostitutes.
Olive
Greg.
Garden.
You can't just
Hey,
all
these
you can eat.
breadsticks aren't all you
Hey,
need.
Yeah.
slow down on those breadsticks. I'm gonna
That's a
take some home with
ridiculous
us.
amount of money.
Oh, I used to go on dates in the city. It'd be like $150 a date. It was ridiculous.
That sounds about right.
And
He
like
said
you like,
300 a second ago.
well, because you'd go on like 3 or 4 dates before you would actually get.
See, it's
intimate.
weird. It's weird to think about this as an economy for you, the way you're spelling it out. That the $300 is what's getting you to the sex, rather than just hanging out.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
I
Like,
know. Well,
Yeah.
to clarify, you are saying that, so that's I'm just
That's
so I'm-
specifically what you're
If we
saying.
want to expand your point a bit, I'm
Yeah.
down for that. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying here. Let's fluff the blanket.
It's
We
expensive.
pulled
Like
it out of the
dating,
bag.
dating is expensive. If your entire goal is just to get laid, it's a very expensive venture. You're going out, you're buying drinks, you're seeing the person at multiple. I'm not talking like going out to a bar for a one night stand. I'm talking if you like someone, you want to date them. It just costs so much money, and there's so much time that goes into it. And a lot of it is predicated on like how into this guy is me, like how into this.
He's dating Bizarro.
this guy.
How into this guy is me.
How into me is this guy? Is he going to take care of me? Is he doing all this stuff? And only then do I feel like we should progress to the next level. I would say the next level.
Yeah.
Like it's like once that
Bone
bank is
town.
full, you can climb the money up to the next level, and then we can get
And then you can get into being clean
naked.
up.
We can
Yeah.
wrap around our socks around each other's socks and go after it.
Man.
Yeah.
But about sex specifically.
Just the act of sex.
Yeah.
The act is kind of gross when you think about it.
The act is kind of, if you think too hard about any part of sex,
Yeah.
it is disgusting. The smells, okay, because there's some weird smells that can
There's some
happen.
weird smells. I'm not so much against the smells.
There's a lot of weird fluids that are happening
I'm down with the fluids.
that when you start thinking about it, or if it goes on too long, you're like, are you making a cake down there? What's happening?
I don't get it.
Yeah, what?
Do you never use like a certain specific type of like lube, and you look down and you're like, there's just all over the place. It's everywhere. It looks like a cake exploded.
I don't know who you've been fucking.
Having sex with a Pillsbury doughboy.
And there's the awkward like moments when air has to be released from pockets.
Yes.
Those are always weird. And you have to either go, do I giggle
just
or do
pretend
I
you don't
pretend
hear
like
it.
it didn't
You
happen?
need to pretend it
You need to
doesn't
pretend it doesn't exist, and that's the hardest part is because then like usually like the girl will feel very like self-conscious about it, which I totally get, and then it's just you just can't bring attention to it. But what I hate is when they keep bringing attention to it and they keep going like it's not me, that's not me, and it's
It almost makes you want to just
Not gonna
stop
say
and like
anything.
push on the stomach to get it all out, and then keep going.
well, what's funny too is when it's like when it's just like skin
So quiet.
like I can't do it. When it like just that type of thing happens, but it's just like skin.
Oh, you
against
get the
each other.
suction cup action
Yeah.
between the sweaty skin.
It's so hard not to laugh from that.
bad.
I wouldn't say that's not sexy though.
I think it's super sexy. Any sort of slapping or
Super sexy.
smushing sound, I think
Slapping
is
is
good.
sexy.
Slapping sexy. You know, I don't know. I
feel
mean,
Like that.
the whole discussion of
I like that.
what to do next is always really not a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like that can only go on for so long. Like that needs to be a question response. It can never be question because that's when it gets really weird.
Wait, what are you talking about?
It's like, so what do you want to do now? Then you just panic and you're just like, I don't know.
You're doing it wrong. You have to immediately pass out.
What? No, I'm talking
immediately
about
pass out.
during the act. Like,
talking
while
about
don't
you're
pass
doing it.
out when you're doing it.
It's like you're doing one position,
Right.
and then you're just like, there's always that moment of, like, someone always goes, "What do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do now?"
Someone always goes.
I don't do. That's always you, Tim, because
not me.
you're such a freaking like
planning
list
it
monger.
out.
I've got 5 things we could do right now on my list. Top
He's
5,
got- yeah, he's
ranked
got
from
drama.
You
5
want
to
this?
2.
You want this? You want this?
No, you gotta just go with a flow, man. It should be like a ballet.
No, see, and I get that.
There's 2 people
But
moving
then
in
once
and out
the
of each
ballet
other.
breaks, and once someone's like, "There's,"
Once
I don't want
the
to say
ballet
there's
breaks.
always a moment, but like I feel like there's a fair amount of moments where like there is discussion happening.
You're having sex for
Sorry.
way too long.
That's
It's
the thing.
lasting way too
That's
long.
the thing is that a lot of Greg and I have had this conversation.
2 minutes max.
No, seriously, 10 minutes? Like I don't want to do this. Sometimes
10 minutes.
Sometimes I'm just like can we like
That's
all
half
right.
an episode of Seinfeld.
Well, it's just like enough already. You know, like all
Yeah.
right, I want to go. Take it because some people are like I had sex for like well, a lot of them for
Yeah.
45 minutes. Like, what are you fucking crazy? You know what is this?
It's a young man's game.
Dude, even when I was a young man, getting around with different ladies in my younger years, I wasn't going for 45 minutes. No
Pouring
one wants
around
to have
New
sex
Jersey.
for that long. You know, like
I
who
don't
wants
mind
to
if
have
you
sex for
stop and
fucking
you come
45
back
minutes?
40 minutes later and do it
Sure,
again.
sure, that's a different story.
Take a break, get some popcorn.
But honestly, 10 minutes is like a good.
popcorn
10
break.
minutes is great. That's a great.
10
10 minutes.
Yeah,
What-
10
with,
minutes, done.
Like
I
I could do 30 minutes with
sounds good.
foreplay.
That's
If we're making out somewhere and then there's some touchy-feely happening. But once you start having sex, I mean, 10 minutes sounds okay. It sounds a lot, though. It sounds like a lot.
I
45 minutes sounds like I'm going to get up and have a Charlie horse afterward.
No, see, that's the thing. Is like I know a couple of my friends who shall remain nameless. Like they tell me stories, and their stories last way too long, and I'm talking like hours. And I'm like, that just sounds like it hurts people. And then I hear from the other side, they're like, that just really hurt. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun for anyone involved.
no, it's
Get
like
in there
you
with
gotta,
a mission.
and foreplay is another thing. Like there's I gotta this it's just foreplay is just exacerbating sometimes. It's just like let's just cut to the chase. You know, we both know what we want. Yeah, we gotta warm up a little bit.
See, I'm on
But
the
a
foreplay.
foreplay is like 5 minutes. All right, let's take our clothes off and let's get through this. So I
I
can
don't know,
I
there's
gotta
something
get some
special about-
trophies and
well, it depends on how you define foreplay.
Gotta make a sauce.
yeah.
Because sometimes foreplay it can be fun, where you're like, this is all we're doing, so this is cool. Because sometimes you just don't like, especially with my relationship with my wife, sometimes it's like, oh, sex. There's such a commitment to that right now. We got to take things off. Sometimes we just mess around, and that's kind of fun, which I like.
Yeah.
You know,
a
there's
big fan of
varying
that.
degrees of like what we need at the moment that we're very in tune with each other on. So we're like, oh, we're here. This is what we're doing. Cool. That's like 5 minutes. And sometimes it's like we're in a hotel. Call room service.
Hotel sex is important.
Call room service.
Hotel
and tell them
sex
to come
is
in
essential.
2 hours. Because it's gonna be like that.
No,
And then,
never
and
in a
then
million
5
years
minutes
we'll
later,
do
we're
that.
like, why did we tell them to come in 2 hours? Tell them to bring,
now,
tell them to
we're
bring the
hungry.
food. We're like, just bring it 5 minutes.
Yeah, see, I'm really upset with what
Some ice.
the internet's done to us. I love the internet in a lot of ways, but I feel like it devalued a lot of things, like the hand job. I want to give a shout out to the hand job. And I just want to let the ladies out there know that they're appreciated.
Oh, the HJ is
Most
great.
people don't like
Well,
them.
sometimes
They don't like them because they just don't know.
Well, if it's good, it's good. I mean, I remember. You know, that was the first thing you get when you're like, first learning about sex and with being with a woman or whatever. Like, it's like
You're in the movie theater. You're watching Elf. I know.
you understand.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
got your first hand job.
That was
watching
not mine.
Elf.
That was my. I just used my friend's story.
That's really twisted.
it's funny like how there was
That's
like
that's some messed up stuff.
It's funny how when you're younger and even in college, like there's a lot of like beating around the bush, no pun intended, about like, it's like, the hand job or, blow job, maybe just a lot of fooling around, never kind of going all the way. And then you realize that like a lot of like, it's just when you get a little older, like it seems like a lot of people just cut through the bullshit, and they're like, no, let's just have, we're having sex.
It's pretty crazy when you actually like meet a woman when you're older who's like, no, we're going to have sex right now. And you're like, I don't understand. Well, let's have sex. Well, I don't understand. I don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't. You have to go through all these steps when you're.
What was that motion?
Money. It was a joke. It
Oh,
was a callback to earlier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Looks like a banana there.
Wait, no, wait.
For the record, your banana was floating in the air the way you just peeled it.
He has a banana holder.
Oh my god.
No, it is interesting. Like I've been with a couple women who were like very forward about it, and I'm like, I don't get this. I'm normally used to jumping through a lot more hoops and like
Sure.
dating
$300.
and like listening to you talk a lot, and now you're just like. Not in a bad way. It's not a bad thing.
It's so good.
You should communicate.
Not in a bad way. I was listening to you talking not in a bad way.
No, I was like listening
Listen,
attentively.
I've listened only for the reason of one day having sex with you.
Dude, when you were 23, that's all you cared about. That's all I cared about. I was like, everything you're saying is great. It's the best thing ever. Can we speed this up a little bit? Can we jump forward like 2 weeks from now when you finally like take pity on me and like let me keep my shirt on while we're doing it?
Take your shirt off.
No.
Socks off, but keep the shirt on.
I'll take everything from the waist down off, but the shirt, that was the one thing I was always embarrassed about. I was
Really?
like, oh yeah, because I used to be super overweight. So
Well,
like,
yeah, I know the shadow boxing.
it's like swimming in the, when you go swimming when you're a kid in high school, you're like, no, this shirt, I get sunburned early.
I try to keep
Easily.
as much clothes on now just because I'm lazy. Like I'm just like, because you just like gotta get redressed. Like, can I like keep my boxers on?
Just using the pee hole.
I like to, no, I'm the opposite. I like to be,
Can I keep my shirt on?
I like to be free like an eagle. I just like to be free. It's so freeing being naked with another human being. Just
That's
free
true.
like an eagle.
It's a nice experience.
Great. That's why I don't understand the socks thing. If you're gonna get the sock, get under the covers. Warm it up. Warm
Also
it
a
up,
good
Chris.
point.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, now, like the socks are like the first thing to go.
Have you
So
ever worn a hat?
The old story was the socks were hanging out too long?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
feel like-
socks thing I've gotten over.
I feel like I
the
can
years.
imagine you or one of your friends wearing a trucker hat while doing it.
Definitely not me.
And
I
like,
don't
see
even
you
know
in
which
a
friend
trucker.
you're
and like
talking
taking
about.
pictures, like selfies of yourself or something
Oh.
while you're doing it.
Well,
It's just your generation.
I'm
Just horrible
voyeuristic
people.
into this, yeah.
Are you? Have you ever filmed yourself?
Me? No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
I hear about people.
Oh,
that
he
once in a while
he's
they
like
do it.
me? I filmed other people have sex.
Not me.
I have
Not
filmed
me, though. That's
other-
weird. That's totally weird. I don't know. Do anything.
Well, this is an odd topic.
Yes.
It was a good topic.
From
Who
the pure
made
one.
that topic?
You did.
Oh, shit.
That was yours.
That was a Tim Gettys topic. That
It
was a good
clearly was a Tim Gettys
Yeah.
topic. Colin,
Yo,
what do you got for me?
it's your boy.
one.
Just a real quick aside before I get into my topic.
Yeah.
I've been listening a lot to just that Currency record, the Stoned Immaculate.
I know. Who's Currency?
It's so good. He's a rapper.
He's a rapper,
From
right?
New Orleans.
Okay.
And he's just so good. He's just that
He's a good dude.
that record front to back is really good. Anyway, so listen to that. The Stoned Immaculate. My topic is board games. Typically, I when I was a child, I liked to play a lot of board games. When I'm older, I like to play some war games and stuff like that, some more in-depth games
Like Risk?
like Axis and Allies or Shogun.
What's that,
Axis
what's
and
that
Allies
Star
is fucking
game you
rad.
and Cheryl
Solar
were playing
Quest,
from? Oh, Solar
which is out of print. So I want to talk about board games. What games we played when we were kids? What are some of the seminal and most important board games in your life? What is the best board game of all time? And I'll start you off. I really love Axis and Allies a lot. Like some of the more complicated war games, even like again like Shogun. Like these are really complicated games, and they're great. But I think the best board game of all time, if we're not counting chess, which I don't count as a board game. Chess is
a board
and chess is the best game of all time, better than any video game, better than anything. I would say Monopoly.
Yes.
is the seminal game.
It takes too long. That's
Doesn't
my problem,
matter. Don't be a
though.
bitch about it. Monopoly's awesome.
How many games have you finished?
I was ranked on the case ladder system on the internet version of Monopoly, which is where I learned about Westwood for the first time because they were the developer of the video game, and I was like, "What is Westwood?" And I figured out it was
I
Westwood.
had that
Hollywood.
version of Monopoly too in the late '90s, right?
Played online on your PC.
I think I was on there too.
I once got to 24 in the world, and I had a little hot symbol next to me because I won 3 in a row. Wow! So that's how many fucking
True story.
Monopolies I finished.
True
in my
story.
life.
There was only 25 people.
No,
playing on
there
that
was a whole
board.
bunch of
No, there
people
was a lot
on
of people
there.
on that.
Asshole.
I remember that game.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Pictionary.
We weren't ready to stop talking about Monopoly.
No, I'm gonna go back to Monopoly in
Throw
a
some
second.
goddamn fucking stone. No, okay.
I love Monopoly, but Monopoly was
Pictionary's
like the game that you were like, okay, we'll play Monopoly, right? If there was no other better board game, you would play
Well,
Monopoly.
because everyone has it too. That's the thing.
But that's why I loved Pictionary, because when they had Pictionary, it was there's no choice between the two. You go Pictionary because inevitably you can start drawing some disgusting pictures, and everyone will think you're really, really funny at the party.
With all due respect,
Sure.
and this is also my own ignorance of the game of Pictionary.
Yes.
Is Pictionary a board game? Is there a board?
There's a drawing board.
Thank you.
That you draw
No.
on.
So
I would consider
No.
consider Pictionary like because it comes in a box with all the materials, and there is some sort of board, isn't there?
I mean, you have
Not
to,
like
you have the
pieces
boards that
moving
you draw
around.
on. You're
That's
not
easy.
technically.
See, but that's the thing though.
Or a
With board
scorecard or
games,
something?
does there need to be a board, or like do card games count as board
I
games?
don't think they count as it. I don't think
'Cause
so.
I- it's
I think a
weird,
board game
'cause,
has
like,
a board.
I'll always
Alright.
give a shout out to Taboo. But
Taboo's
like
the
Taboo,
bomb.
I wouldn't call a card game. It's a board game, even though there's no board.
Board games are very vast because I feel like there's some whack ass board games. I'm gonna give a whack ass award to fucking Hungry Hippos.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
That
That game's so whacked out. It's like a game where you set everything up, everything like it's like all like super
first
quick
you were
over,
kids.
and then it's
For
like
that's
that's
more of a
kids.
toy
Yeah, but the
than a
commercials
board
were
game.
really
though.
cool though.
they were cool. And Mousetrap's a
Hippos.
bullshit game too.
Yep.
Mousetrap's fucking complete bullshit.
What about
buy
Cheats
it,
and Ladders?
You bought it. You put.
Yes.
You buy
For a
Mousetrap. You
child,
put
yes.
Mousetrap together. You set the Mousetrap off, and you never fucking use Mousetrap again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what a
Same
dumb
thing with
fucking
Grape
game.
Escape.
No,
Remember Grape
Yeah.
Escape?
I love that.
You buy it. You fucking make the clay guy. You
No,
play
I-
one round, and you're like, well, fuck it. I just want to smash
I
the clay
just played
guy.
with them. I did bowling with them. That was
Going
fun.
going back to Monopoly for a second. I don't know that I've ever finished a game of Monopoly. I probably should have, because I feel like all of my friends that were good at Monopoly are like make a ton of money now, and like no business.
Yeah.
You know, Monopoly nowadays has like ATM cards.
Yeah. Credit cards.
So you don't even need to deal with all the like cashing out and stuff. It's just like it keeps it electronically.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's one of the fastest way to speed up Monopolies. You know, to sit there and count and debate and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we should do in this. We should play a game of Monopoly.
Play
here.
Monopoly? That's a
one
good
video
idea.
that goes up.
Because it's crazy. The problem with Monopoly
4 hour
is
game.
eventually someone quits. Eventually, like people get tired and they're like, you know what? We're just gonna do an alliance and fuck everybody else. And then you're not really playing a game anymore.
property. And
All
Yeah.
right, so here's the thing about Monopoly, right? Monopoly is an old American game. Comes from the
Brothers?
landlord. Yeah, but it comes from an older game called the Landlord's Game. And what's cool about it is that there are just a myriad of house rules. So like the game doesn't have to be long. In fact, like if you play it with all the house rules, the game can last 30 minutes. But Monopoly is a special game. Like I'll play Monopoly anytime, anywhere with anyone. Like I love that fucking game. And how many you've never I finished hundreds of games of Monopoly.
Yeah.
Like
Never
I
finished 'em.
I used to play in college all the time. Get all fucked up with my friends playing Monopoly.
Were you like
I-
me, where you'd get super offended if somebody wasn't committed to it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And they start wavering. You're like, you fucking decided to play
Yeah,
Monopoly.
like-
You're
like-
fucking playing Monopoly.
And there's there's a bunch of strategy to
I'm
it about
out.
like
I'll be
getting
out.
the reds and the yellows, especially like or the oranges. Like there's certain like a lot of people go all in. There's auctioning or you don't have to auction. There's all sorts of there's community chest, free parking, all those kinds of things. So I really appreciate Monopoly, and I recommend to people. I think it's on Netflix. There's a Monopoly documentary about professional Monopoly players, and it's like really, really awesome. Like these guys are fucking crazy, and they play for
I'm
they play for
immediately
money.
gonna watch that one
They
again,
play for
though.
money and shit. There's another one about professional Scrabble players too, which is another great game. But Monopoly is a really special game because it's just one of those accessible games that young people play and old people play, and I really adore that game. We were talking about Solar Quest, which was an 80s game it's like a much more complicated Monopoly and takes place in space. And you buy planets and moons and stuff like that, and you put like fuel cells on them, and it's like you can lose at any time because you have to keep refueling your ship and stuff like that.
This is
and,
when I
and
knew-
there's all these spin-offs.
Colin and Cheryl's relationship was on another level. Is that when she came out here to visit after she had moved away to go do whatever the hell she did out there, school and crap, she came back and they just sat around this apartment and played this goddamn Solar Quest. They're like, whoa, you need to come here and get the fuel rods or whatever off this planet. I was like, you nerds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a special game.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out real quick to a game that I don't think I've ever played a full game of because it's so hard. But when you're drunk and or just drinking coffee in Southern California all night, It is one of the most fun games to play. Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, I love Trivial Pursuit. I was a baller at Trivial Pursuit.
So I could never. So my friends and I had this old Trivial Pursuit box that I don't know who the hell knows where we got it from.
It was the blue one.
Yeah, it was the hard like.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And it
what
covered
you're
the
talking about.
period of like 1825 to like 1925. Like there was like no modern questions in this thing. So all of us, we got this board out because we thought it was hysterical. We used to go to this place called Cafe Aruba down in Orange County on the Costa Mesa, and it would be open until 2 o'clock in the morning. So when we didn't feel like drinking or have money for it, we'd just sit, drink coffee, and play these games. And none of us figured out until way too late that you could actually get Trivial Pursuit like Hollywood / pop culture Trivial Pursuit, which is way more fun because we knew all of the
But
answers to them.
that came around late. Like people won't remember that now. But Trivial Pursuit was hardcore for a long fucking time.
Really
where there
long.
was nothing fun about it. It was all. It
was like a
all.
test.
I know you're Mr. History.
No,
But
but
I mean,
it was
like,
good. I thought it was just a fun game. Like I really enjoyed playing it when I was a kid. Like when you win Trivial Pursuit, that's like a thing. When you win at Trivial Pursuit,
You can put that on a college application
Yeah.
that you won.
I once won.
I used to play with like my
Trivial
parents
Pursuit.
and stuff like that. I mean, like we used to
See, that's
straight
the
up
thing.
play.
We
Like,
would meet. It's another one where you'd have the best intentions. I feel like with the first time you ever tried, and I've never finished a game of Trivial Pursuit.
Never.
You sat down, you get into it like I don't know, and like every at the table's like I don't know either, and it's like well this isn't fun. But then now they make them that are modern.
Now they make them like all the answers
they
to
make
Justin
stupid
Bieber or Selena
Trivial Pursuit
Gomez.
for all stupid people.
Let me-
like
let
me-
Kim Kardashian stuff like me.
let me let you into the Moriarty family.
Get
real
in
quick.
there.
There's a game that we like that my sister learned. I think when she went to SUNY Oswego, and I'm sure it's called different things to different people. We call it Celebrity, and it's a game. All you need is pens, papers, and a bowl, like a big bowl.
I know this game.
And you give like different pieces of paper to everyone. Everyone rips them up in like little sheets, and you write. Each person like writes 25 or 30 names on them. So it'll be like it could be a fictional character, a movie star, a president, a band, anything like that. Everyone folds them up, puts them in, and it can be like a team of like 2 teams, 4 and 4, whatever. So there's like maybe a couple hundred things in the bowl, and there's a timer. So like every time, each team goes like for 2 minutes, and someone reads, like takes the names out of the bowl and describes them to the other people without using the name. So it's like George Washington. It'll be like,
So it's like Taboo.
yeah, kind
It's
of.
gonna change here in the next couple rounds though.
So then like you have like there's like all these arcane rules like where you have passes and all this kinds of thing, and like you're basically just keeping score on a piece of paper, and then you like throw the names back in if no one gets them. So then you start to like learn the names that are in there, and then you can like figure them out later based on the tricks that you didn't necessarily know about that name. And my favorite story, you met my dad last week. We were doing it, and Duran was in there, and my dad was like, sounds like Loran. And we were like, all right, everyone's got to go to bed now. It's a little too late for this.
Is that the only round of it though?
That is amazing.
Because the one
I think so.
The one I played that I had never
thinking.
I had never played this game before or anything like it until I went to Missouri this last time for the I guess actually 2 times again for the it doesn't matter Missouri. And what it was the teams or every person wrote 3 names down and it can be fictional whatever blah blah, tosses them in the bowl. You're on teams of 2 and then you go. In the first round you go through the names and it's literally anything but the name. So you're giving them George Washington descriptors. The next time around it is you can only say 1 word. So if like because when you go you get the numbers right, and you each have a number of how many you got right for teams or whatever. Then they all go back in the thing. You go to the next one, and you can only say 1 word. So you pull George Washington and go like president, and then that person would hopefully say George Washington or whatever.
Do they have one guess?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh no! You have all the guesses. It says president. You can go through 1,000,000 as much as you want. I'm sorry, and then you get the numbers down there. It's a speed thing of how many you get. I forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 30 seconds or whatever. And then the final round with the same names is charades. Where you like,
that's cool.
yeah. So like
So
there's
That's dynamic.
yeah.
I like that.
Working backwards from that, to me, Taboo is just the ultimate game.
I don't even remember
That is-
Taboo. How do you
Taboo's
play?
so much
It's still
fun. It's
around.
like
It's
you
so
get a
good.
card,
Yeah.
and then it says the word that you need to get. Your teammates need to guess, and there's 5 words you can't say, and you also can't do any rhymes with, sounds
Sure,
like,
sure.
starts with, none of that.
Lorraine
bullshit.
can't do that.
Yeah,
Got it.
but it's like you just can't say these words, and they're
Like
well
if you get
thought out
Magnum
words.
PI, you can't say 80s. You can't say like
Yeah.
TV.
Oh, sure.
You can't say those things. Like so, it's really really hard.
It's awesome, and
Can't
I
say
love
Tom
it. And it's
Selleck.
like when you know people and you're playing with like your good friends. Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite of Apples to Apples, which infuriates me.
Yeah.
That game makes no
Why?
sense. It's
There
not
is
real
a board
fucking
in
game.
Pictionary.
There's no game there.
Yeah, I know there was for sure.
Okay.
I know there was.
I wasn't being mean about it, other than to say "fuck you, Nick."
I knew there was a board. I remember those little pieces.
Nick interrupting.
The Apples to
Sorry,
Apples
guys.
is just the
What is
shitty.
that? What is apples to apples?
It's essentially Cards Against Humanity, but just without
that game.
What?
It's too simple.
But that's my problem. The game does suck. It's funny. You end up saying funny things. The reasons you hate it, that's apples to apples.
Yeah.
Take away any of the funny phrases and everything, and just, hey, which one of us said that word? Well, that's fun. It's like there's nothing special about red apple. That's like, oh, that's such a Nick thing to say.
I feel like
Taboo.
Colin and I would dominate in Taboo. Maybe.
As a
I
team?
don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we would dominate.
I think you and I would dominate.
Yeah, us versus them. That sounds like a good. We should do that.
I think you and I would be a good team too. Who do you
No,
think would be the best teams here?
you're the worst mom possible.
So you literally just said you would be the best team with every one of us.
I think I'm the
could you and
contributing
Portillo
factor.
be really good at it?
Oh, I'd freaking dominate with that.
I'm
dog.
extremely good at Taboo.
Are you?
Extremely. Like
We should play a
Alfredo,
game. We should play
miserable.
a game. Us two versus them two.
We should. I like that a lot.
And then we'll do alternating weeks with the best, and we'll see who the championship team is.
GameOverGreggy plays is a good idea, and people want that. People keep talking about it. We should do some board games.
We should do Game Over Greggy Plays Monopoly and just leave the camera on
Yeah.
and just see how long it takes.
No, it won't take that long because 15 minutes. Tim and I will just be like, we'll be
can't
right back.
quit.
You can't
You can't
quit.
quit.
Just
Play
leave.
like a man. See,
We'll just
Play like a
leave.
man.
so, dude, the die is cast so early in Monopoly too. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. The Horde and fucking Mediterranean and all this shit. No. That's not where the game is won.
Park Place.
The game is
that's
won
bullshit. You
on
don't
the
know.
reds and the yellows, man.
Yeah.
Like that's where the game
Indian
is won.
Avenue.
Indiana.
Indiana Avenue.
I'm a railroad boy.
We should play Taboo. I would love
yeah.
to play a game of Taboo.
But there's above Taboo. There's a game Cranium. Have you guys played Cranium?
no.
I've seen it.
So
I don't know if I
it's-
have played it.
Cranium's just the ultimate board game because it's Taboo, Pictionary, and charades all in one. And then there's one other thing that's dumb. We'll take that one out. And it's you like roll the dice, and depending on what number you get, like you either have to act out the word, do the Taboo game, or draw it or do stuff. Or like there's a bunch of weird tasks, like you have to grab your teammate's hand and draw with their hand and stuff like that. It's fun. It's a good game. We should play that too.
Do you guys remember a game called Crossfire?
You get caught up in the crossfire.
Freddie Wong made a video about this
it's so
a couple
good.
years ago. It was a good video.
It's like
What was Crossfire?
it was just like a game
Stupid-ass
like
game nobody-
with like two guns on like either side of the board that shot like silver pellets.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was like all these different like polygons basically or not like polygonal shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like all on the little ball bearings and you would try to shoot them into like the other person's goal basically. I love that game.
Now,
And the commercial was fucking awesome.
I'm throwing two more out there that I know are not board games, but they're games that I spent an exorbitant amount of time playing when I was a kid. Battleship
Battleship's awesome.
and Connect 4.
Yeah.
Connect 4.
Both
Connect
are board
4
games,
is,
man.
Connect 4 is a little yeah.
Is it a board game?
It is a
Yes,
board game.
It is a
Absolutely
board game.
It's
Connect
just a
4
little
does have a problem though. It's like it's super good, but then I feel like you get stuck too much. There's too much. It's like tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Amazing game, except for the fact that
It's always a draw.
half the time it is unwinnable.
Like it's the reason why checkers is whack. Because there's just so many like just too many ways to manipulate the game.
Right.
You know, there's straight up just too many ways to manipulate chess or checkers, and there's too many ways to manipulate Connect 4. Like you win in the same ways over and over and over again.
Yeah.
If you know how to play the game, it's like in tic-tac-toe, it always ends in a draw, but the first person always picks the middle square. Why wouldn't you? You know, like just eliminate 4 ways to win immediately, like for your opponent right off the bat. But right, 4 ways, yeah. So these are special games. But I feel like everything in my mind comes back to Monopoly now. Now, Battleship's a special game. That's a special game. I'm also going to kind of have to give a shout out real quick to the Arcane Wheel of Fortune board game that I had when I was a kid
God.
from the 80s. Now, this game was it came with like a little stand where like and you put like cards in that had like the letters in certain areas, and then you put like all the tiles down and stuff like that, and you lifted the tiles slowly. You had like a little, like some money and a boy. Oh, it was a fantastic game. I used to play with my sister all the time. That was probably from like 1985. Something that game was an old.
I don't remember that game,
It was awesome.
but it's awesome that you remember that game.
I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story about Monopoly though. It's an essential story.
Come at me, bro.
I had Monopoly on NES. I loved it, and I used to play against the computer, and I was so obsessed with it that I started keeping standings and statistics
Nice.
for all of the
Nice.
different people in the game. Because there was like all these AI characters. I'd play as the horse, and then every other piece had like the battleship had like someone associated with it, the hat and all these things. And I would play against all of them, keep statistics, and then make them play each other and watch the games. Like the AI play each other in these games. And a couple of years ago, I found my binder full of like seasons worth of this. Like
That's
I'd play
awesome.
like
That is
80
great.
game seasons of Monopoly, just simulating Monopoly games on the NES.
That's so good.
For fucking hours and hours a day.
I want to pinpoint the time in your life, the exact moment where you decided not to take over the world.
See, that's what's ridiculous right here. Is like we're talking about Monopoly taking too long to play, and here he is.
He's
watching
watching it.
Other people play.
Not even other people.
Oh my god.
NES AI.
Yeah,
play
exactly.
Monopoly. And I was the same way. Like I was so obsessed with statistics and numbers when I was a kid because I used to like pore over the newspaper with like baseball box scores and hockey and stuff like that. Me and my friend Tim, a good friend of mine from back home, we used to be so obsessed with it that we'd keep binders full of like fake hockey statistics where we would have like the real teams, and we set up this whole thing where we'd have like all these dice rolls, make all of these fake schedules for the entire NHL season. So not just like one team's 82 games, but like every team's games. They all like matched up with each other. And then we would do all these arcane dice rolls with our own rules to figure out the scores. And like if they got shutouts and who played and stuff like that. And then keep like individual statistics for all of the teams.
My god.
Like we were like, we were so weird. Like
That's weird.
and we would always play, we both played hockey. So we'd go out and play hockey and we would do the same thing. Like have a fake league, like where I was like, one day I was, the Coyotes and he was the Winnipeg Jets or whatever. And we would play like a game with his brother in net, and we would play for like 10 minutes since it was so fast. And then we were like, that's the final score. And we would write it down in the book and then like keep the standings and all this shit. It was like so weird.
That's a lot. You had a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah,
when
it's
you were a
ridiculous.
kid.
So
yeah.
the exact opposite of that. In college, everyone has the games that they always played. Like most of them video games, Smash Bros, GoldenEye. Like every college campus
Sure.
had that. But there was a couple board games that are go-tos, and for me in college, Monopoly Deal was one of those things. Have you guys ever played this?
No.
It's a card version of Monopoly, and it's made to be quicker. Each thing lasts max 10 minutes. And then it's just the same game where it's just like you're doing all the trades and stuff, but you just draw 3 cards, and then you have to do all this stuff. It is so good. That game is so much fun. You get just as heated from playing Monopoly, but it all happens in 10 minutes instead
Here's
of 3
something
hours.
I want to talk about when we're talking about card games. Uno.
Yeah.
Uno
I was just
saw a
gonna say Uno.
resurgence
Oh,
with
yeah.
Xbox, of course, but I remember growing up, my parents and our next door neighbors being so into Uno, they would have like Uno night, where we would go over to their house, have dinner, and then play Uno for hours on end, putting down wild cards and matching sixes and crap.
Do people still do that? Do they still like connect with
Be
their neighbors
neighborly?
that way and like go play
neighbors.
games and stuff?
No, definitely not neighbors, but I think my generation right now is having this like really awkward retro resurgence thing where like all my friends now are like, let's have a game night. It'll be so nice. No alcohol, no any of this. Let's just go play board games. And I'm like,
Sounds awesome.
no, it is awesome. I love doing it, but it's just funny that like they feel such a need to make a point of just, hey, we're doing this.
Let's
We're
go
gonna
back
play
to the
Monopoly.
80s. Yeah. Let's watch. We'll throw on the Breakfast Club. We'll tease each other's hair. We'll peg each other's pants. It'd be fun.
Peg each other's pants.
Peg.
What's that even mean?
It's when you fold over the cuff and then roll it up.
Oh man.
It's pegging. My wife taught me that term. So you can get it's before pants were skinny pants. You'd peg your pants so they'd be sucked tight, and then you could put the Reebok pump or a high top on top of that bad boy, and they would fit right in there. Keep it a little loose. Keep it a little loose.
Good topic.
Thank you. Go Monopoly.
Go Monopoly indeed. I think
And
we agreed Monopoly.
hey, special dark horse shout out to Guess Who.
Man.
Guess Who is where you want to
You know what? Wait,
the special
before
dark horse.
before we end this, you can't talk board games.
Without Jumanji, I knew it.
No, without Clue. Do you remember Clue?
Clue
Never
was
played
good.
it. I've never
Oh, it
actually
was so
played it.
good. It was actually difficult because you had to like discover who killed
Yeah.
whom.
You start getting to that thing where you're just like rattling off guesses.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
And you're like, no, stop it. There's only, like,
Playing
10
the game
permutations.
right. Clue was fun.
Greg,
Yeah.
what's your topic?
My topic is I want to know, what are the stupidest things you've ever purchased?
Okay.
You've taken your money or your parents' money, I'll accept. What do you got for me?
I'm going to lead this one off.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you guys can beat this. It's simultaneously the worst and best and most awesome purchase that I've ever made. 1,000 live ladybugs from Amazon.com. The reasoning? Because I could.
Really?
Saw it on Amazon, and I was like, no shit.
What did you do
How
with
much
1,000
does that cost?
live
Wait,
ladybugs?
Me and
How
Alfredo,
much did it cost though?
it was like $4.99
What?
Yeah,
$4.99.
ladybugs don't cost money.
for 1,000 live ladybugs, and they came in this little box, and me and Alfredo were like, "This is awesome! They're alive!" And then we're like,
And then you punched the box.
"That was it." But
Just
we
lit
were
the box
so
on
excited
fire.
because I didn't believe we were gonna get them, and we really got them. Thank you.
What did you do
Amazon
with them? Just let
Prime.
them go?
Yeah, we ended up just leaving them in this park near my house.
Well, this is what I would have done. I would have counted them.
And then made fake
And-
seasons for him, and like,
Well, I would have made sure that they were all there.
He would have done
There's
some,
987 ladybugs in this box, and 3 of them are already dead.
I could just imagine you doing some sort of weird psychological experiment where you break them up into 2 groups and you give all the ladybugs in group right everything they've ever wanted, and group left they just have to
What does
watch
that mean?
and just see
What
what
do they
happens.
want?
Like some,
what do they want?
like they just get like shrubs and like cool places to hang out, and then
Shrubs and cool places
and then like
to
group,
hang
group
out.
left just gets stones, and they just see what happens if they can figure out how to get over to the other. You know,
They're
tank.
all against the glass, like
That's everything I've ever wanted.
shrubs and cool
Shrubs
places
and
to
cool
hang out.
places to hang out.
What the hell else does a ladybug want? Not to be eaten by a praying mantis? What eats ladybugs? Snakes?
Everything. Frogs.
They're kind of the
Toads.
bitch of the insect world.
Yeah, they got nothing. I
was
mean, what do
insensitive.
they even do?
Ladybugs?
Yeah. I mean, like, what is their purpose? Like, bees pollinating crap.
I don't know. We should Amazon it though, because there's obviously a purchase or like a reason for them to be purchasable.
They must. I'm thinking food. You feed crickets to stuff. You probably feed ladybugs to
I really
stuff.
hope you don't feed them. They're pretty.
Well, sure.
Crickets are
Hideous little
yeah,
bastards.
but ladybugs. Actually, I don't know. Are ladybugs cool looking if you zoom in on them? I have a feeling they might be
They're
scary.
trippy looking.
I mean, they look like little Advils that are red with white dots on their back. That's all.
yeah, imagine if your back opened up and wings came out.
Yeah,
That's what a ladybug is. It's got a hard
That's
shell.
really gross.
And then
Ladybug's
it
pretty
opens
cool.
up and the
Like in
wings
A Bug's
come out.
Life?
It's trippy.
I like that character.
Wasn't he
They're
like fat and
terrifying.
stupid?
I mean, it was a ladybug, but it was a dude.
I'm
They're
not a
playing
huge
with them.
fan of bugs.
Yeah, no.
They freak me out a little bit.
Bugs are
I don't
weird.
like killing them. I don't like them in my house. If I see a bug outside the house, I'll leave it alone. That's his habitat.
I had a thing with bugs in elementary school where I liked them a lot because so Power Rangers, everyone knows I love that. There was another show, Beetleborgs, which was same thing, and because I was a little kid, I liked it because it was another thing to watch. And so I got kind of obsessed with beetles and stuff for a while just because of that, and I grew up. And
Good
now I don't
story.
like bugs. Yeah. Bugs are bad.
The 2 stupidest things I ever purchased.
If you're gonna text during the show, at least mute it.
I don't know why that's even on. Sorry. A buddy of mine's in town, so I'm just trying to.
Is it?
Gotcha.
No, it's not
Ramon?
Ramon. Ramon will be here in
Ah,
September,
Ramon.
and he'll be on the show.
I want
100%
I
confirmed.
want a Ramon on this show.
Oh,
bad.
he can tell you the best. He like the whole show should just be stories about.
I'm gonna
He
make
can tell you
these-
some funny things.
Can we
dude.
just not even be here? Can we just introduce it and walk away, and then Ramon just talks?
He could tell you some funny shit, man. I would.
So what'd you buy, Nick?
I bought 2 stupid things. They're not stupid in that they're not functional and or beneficial to own. The amount of money I had to spend on them for what they do was stupid.
I know
Thing
where
number
this is
one.
going.
Thing number 1 was when you bought an original Mac tower. This was before Wi-Fi was really
Maybe
a
I don't know where
thing.
this is going.
You know where the second one's going.
Okay.
It's before Wi-Fi was a thing. I was like, it shipped this little propeller-looking thing, and I was like, I don't know what the hell this is. I threw it out. No idea.
Wait, the antenna?
It's an antenna for the Wi-Fi, but I didn't have Wi-Fi. I didn't know I had a Wi-Fi card. I had no idea what this was. I was like, plug in the freaking cable and we're ready to rock and roll. So like 2-3 years later, when I moved out of where my computer was hardlined, I had to get Wi-Fi, and it turned out you had to have this stupid antenna that every time you'd move, the computer would snap off. So you'd end up having to. So I must have bought like 3 of them,
Damn.
but they didn't sell them anymore. You had to buy them off of eBay for like 4 times as much as they
Yeah.
cost. That was thing number 1.
Bullshit.
Thing number 2, I can't wear earbuds. You know this about me, right? I can't wear the earbuds that go inside your ear. I have to wear these incredibly stupid 80s, like mid 90s, early 90s style headphones that go in
sports
your
ones?
ears. No, they go up
And then you
around.
like- yeah, and
they
you-
go up around and then into your ears, and they're like the Nike
the
Sport
ones you
version,
hook
right?
around, yeah.
You all make fun of me. You see me wearing them at work.
Yeah.
You're like, "What's up,
I've
Captain
never made
80s?"
fun of you.
Well, Tim
I
has.
make fun of them. Yeah.
Now, it's okay because they only cost $15. But one time I lost them, and I was on this big kick of like, I've got to go to the gym. When I go to the gym, I've got to listen to music. Getting into Spotify, it's the bomb. I paid $50 to get them shipped to me on Amazon the next day.
Damn.
And I still have them.
Nick.
And it didn't even occur to me that I should have bought more than one pair. I should have bought 3 pairs, because then it would have knocked on the shipping, and also I would have paid the exorbitant shipping fee for 3 pairs instead of 1.
I just want to say I'm proud of you, because that did not go where I thought it was.
Where
Where
going.
did you
what
think it was
did
going
you
to
think
go?
it was
Give me a hint.
You
there.
start off and you're just like, oh yeah, paying an exorbitant amount of money for something that literally does nothing. And I had to do it twice. I'm like, are you talking about your wedding ring?
Oh God, no! I only do that one once.
But yeah.
Wedding rings are just a tremendous commitment.
Well, because
that's when you know you're ready to get
you have to
married.
buy the engagement ring and then the wedding ring, right?
You buy the engagement ring and then the wedding bands.
Okay. Yeah,
Band
so that's
or
what I thought.
bands.
I thought you were gonna go 1 and 2.
Oh no, yeah, once your wife picks that diamond out, you're like, this is the most expensive thing I'll ever buy in my life in one lump sum. And it is. And then she goes, cool. Now we have to get then 6 months later, now we have to pick out our bands. And you're like,
Are bands expensive?
they can be. Most women just want like a gold band or a white gold band, but my wife wanted a platinum band with diamonds studded all around them, and she wanted 2.
What?
She's like, I'll pay for the second one.
I
was
got
like,
10
you pay for
fingers though.
Can you pay for the other one too?
I was like, yeah, can you pay for the... Because the way traditionally it's supposed to work is she buys you your band and you buy her band, and that's when you trade them. It is symbolic, whatever. My band is titanium. It costs $200, which sounds actually like a lot of money. It is not a lot of money when it comes to engagement bands. It is a very cheap piece of titanium that is indestructible. And when I went in to buy it, the woman was like, you should try this platinum band on. It's so nice. It would be so lovely. I was like, how much is that? She's like, it's $1,000. And I was like, well, how much is that gold one? She's like, well, that one's like $500. I'm like, what about that one that looks ugly and brown, indestructible? She's like, you don't want that one. And I'm like, I want that one. That's like, it's kind of like a cool silver look. And she's like, no, you don't want that one.
You said it was
it's,
ugly and brown.
well, sorry, I meant like, it's kind of, it's not, it's like tarnished
silver.
looking. It's silvery, but
It's
it's
like a
not.
refrigerator.
If you put it next to platinum, it looks kind of dingy looking.
Okay.
And I get in there and I was like, what is that? She goes, well, that's titanium. And I was like, that sounds pretty cool. Like, why wouldn't I want that? She goes, I don't even want it. It's super lightweight and indestructible, and it only costs $200. And she said that with a straight face.
Yeah.
And I was
that's
like,
not the coolest thing.
none of those are bad. Those are all amazing selling factors. She goes, well, there is one bad thing. If you punch something and your hand swells up, they'll have to cut your finger off to get the ring off, because there's not a lot of places that can cut titanium. There's a special saw tool that you have to have.
Yeah, probably diamond tip or
She
something.
goes, yeah. She's like, so if you get hurt in Europe or a place away from,
Whoa, what?
like if you're traveling abroad and you're not near a major metropolitan city that has like a big jeweler, she's like, take the ring off immediately before if anything happens to your hand. And I'm Italian. I have a
Before you
tendency
get
to
in a
punch
fight.
things. Like I'll get pissed off and punch stuff, but I always punch with the right. This is the love maker.
I'll tell you. I'll give you guys some interesting insight.
I lost you for a second. There,
Cheryl and I are going to look at some rings this weekend, and
For engagements?
Yeah, because she's been putting like we're gonna get married. I want to ask her to marry me, but like it's just so much fucking pressure with like the ring. Where eventually I was just like, you need to pick it out yourself, you know. And she like really wants me to like pick it out and be spontaneous and stuff like that. I'm like, that's just not gonna happen, like because it's just like, and I told her, I'm like, I read in Ask Men actually, which is a website associated with IGN. They were like, 70% of women pick out their own rings, so it's not like a super uncommon thing at all. And I tried to tell her this. I'm
my
like,
wife-
it's better if I'm gonna spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on this thing. You better. It better be exactly what you want.
My wife walked into the jeweler and went, that one, and I was like, cool.
Done.
And she goes, I don't care. Like, well, you can do whatever you want to do with the actual stone. Like, this is the cut I want. This is the setting I want. Whatever you want to do, whatever you can afford with the stone, the actual size and clarity and cut, precision, whatever of the stone. Do what you got to do, but I want that one. And then walked out.
I saw a cool one on YouTube where a guy, I forget what it was, I think he was a woodmaker or a woodworker, right? So he like went through and made like this intricate box for the ring or whatever, and then made a wooden ring and put it inside, and then proposed spontaneously, caught her off guard, did the whole thing, and then, like the wood ring was sized for her finger, put it on, but then they went and picked a real ring afterwards, right? So it was like that.
How much did you pay for your ring?
A lot.
How much?
I'm not going to say.
I mean, it's
an exorbitant
a lot
amount.
of money.
I'm stupid. My wife has ridiculous tastes.
So here's the question though: you're going to look at
a lot.
rings. Are you just what's the plan?
I need to just figure out, like, you know, like Nick was saying, like the you know, Cheryl, like she's funny. She's like, she wants like a $10,000 ring, you know, and I'm like, not gonna happen. So let's like
go to Costco.
Yeah. So I was just like, well, but like she's got to pick out, you know, the cut and the setting and the band and all that, and then I'll you know, months down the line I'll figure it out. But
Okay, so you're not coming home with a ring
oh,
tomorrow.
no. So, yeah, I just need to like know more about what she wants so I can figure it out.
Sure,
know? But
sure.
like, I'm not a prayer in hell of me spending $10,000 on that ring. Not
You're
a
still
prayer.
Colin Moriarty.
Yeah, no, it's not a prayer. Like, just not a prayer. So, like,
You say that now.
no, it's not happening. It's just not. I mean, it's
Have
absolutely
you met
not
this
happening.
guy?
I know. I have my. That's
He
true,
will,
that's very
on
true.
principle alone, break up this relationship rather than spend $10,000.
That's right.
My
Colin,
thing,
hashtag Colin was right.
my thing was, I spent a ton of money on it, but it's one of those things where like she looks at it every day, like like she loves it. It's this like she just does. Like I see her every once in a while, she'll just be looking at a ring. She loves it, and like it's nice to know that I got that for her, and that's a symbol of our relationship. Now the other day she left the house without any rings on.
And you're like, where the fuck are you
I
going?
literally stopped her and I was like, put that ring on. She's like, I just wear it. I don't wear it sometimes. I was like, you put that ring on, you don't let it out of your sight. That goes with you everywhere. Because I'm like, if I'm going to spend that much money on it, you're going to wear it. That's how it is. End game.
One of the stupid
Highlander,
stuff I've
Endgame.
bought. I jump back to like when you're a dumb kid and you have money and you're going out with your dumb friends in the mall and you go to Spencer's Gifts. God, everything I ever bought from Spencer's Gift was such a terrible
That
fucking
store was
decision.
awesome, though.
Yeah.
It was
I
great to
felt
wander.
so
I mean,
bad.
first off, if you work in Spencer's Gift, God help you. I'm so sorry you got to put up with all these goddamn 12 and 13-year-olds coming.
looking
Looking
at the
Oh, yeah.
posters.
You're pawing at
Oh,
everything.
man.
Oh, this poster's so funny. This is so look, and
Boobs,
they
there's
exactly.
boobs.
They have like the dirty gifts too that you're like you try it and you're like poking around me and stupid. What I bought there, big Weezer fan. About everybody knows this about me. I love the Weezer. Bought not a poster, like a flag kind of back in the day, but it was like big like our GameOverGreggy sign, bigger than that. I mean, but it was all square and big, and it wasn't a flag you'd hang anywhere really. I don't know. It's something like you've seen bands, I guess, hang. I don't know, but you hang it up, and it's the Weezer logo in the center, which is great, and it says Weezer, and then it had underneath it the catchphrase, "If it's too loud, turn it down." And I'm a big Weezer fan, and I never saw them say this. This wasn't something in one of their songs. I don't know if this was something early on in their career that they got away from. I think maybe once after this, I saw it in some picture.
That doesn't exactly scream rock star.
Well, that's how Weezer is. They
I don't
don't
know,
scream
Weezer,
rock.
yeah.
But like if it's too loud, turn it down.
That's their thing. They were going count to count. But the whole thing was stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so desperate to prove I love
Fit in.
Weezer.
Yeah, I really love them. I'm
no-
turning it down all the time.
Well, no, not even
It's
that.
never
Just
going
that I
above
buy
8.
this stupid thing that has no meaning. It wasn't just this, you know what I mean? It wasn't just the logo, which would have made sense. It wasn't a poster of the team because it didn't exist at the time.
I don't get it though. If it's too loud, turn it up. That
Yeah,
screams counterculture
but
to me. Like,
but they're nerds.
I
They were
get it.
nerds. Remember?
but if it's too loud, turn like, hey, don't bother listening to our music. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, you can turn it down to a reasonable volume.
They're being
I think is what I'm saying.
ironic. Don't you think?
I guess.
That's their whole thing. They're just like their whole shtick is like they're normal nerdy dorks. You know, they're not like rock stars. They don't look like they're in a band. They don't look like they play. You know, I think that's kind of their thing.
Next stupid purchase from Greg Miller, big comic book fan. Don't know if you know this about me, Tim. I go to the comic shop all the time. Idiot nerds there play Magic. Mm-hmm. I've seen me play some Magic before now on spellcasters, slingers. And so I'm there. They're playing the Magic. I'm like, that's stupid. Whatever, blah, blah. But then they brought out these thing called DC Overpower cards, which was Magic with DC super heroes and villains.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is it. I'll try this and I'll get into it. I buy this pack of DC Overpower cards. I don't know, $20 in a big pack of thing. You know, you get your starter set or whatever.
Starter pack, yeah.
Of course, none of my friends read comics to begin with. So, like, I already can't play with them. So I bring these cards home, trying to teach myself a game. That's not going well. Try to convince your parents to play with you. They have no interest in playing this game. And then I'm like, I'll play with these dumb Magic kids. They want to play Magic. Why? I bought these cards, Tim. All I ever did was look at these cards.
Yeah.
Never played a game with them. Would open them up every so often, look at the art on them. Great, put them back in the box, never play the game again.
Yeah.
Never learned to play.
That's a big problem, just card games, collectible card games in general. I have so many. The Young Jedi cards, I shouldn't have bought those.
Tim, I want to see your room.
You don't want to see
What does
my
it
room.
No, I'd like to
look
see
like?
your room too, actually.
Guy,
Oh,
my
no.
room is...
Shut up. We're podcasting out of your room next time.
It's impossible.
We
Have you
can make
heard
it
about
work.
my room?
We can make it work.
I want to hear about his room. What's wrong with your room?
No, my room is a closet. Like, it's literally a closet that's 6 feet by 6 feet. I am 6 feet. So when I lay down, I'm just fitting.
Are you Harry Potter?
Pretty much. But a quarter of the room, there's a heater. So I'm losing a quarter of that space. All that's in the room is a mattress, my computer desk, which is directly next to my mattress, with a badass 49-inch TV that fits perfectly, because that's all that there is. And then just all of my Disney Blu-rays, all of my like CDs, all of my games, all of my comics, everything that I own is in this small little
It's gonna be
space.
pleasant and
Please take photos.
I'll take. I will.
Has this been your whole life in this room?
The last like 5 years, yeah.
Okay.
Because we moved, and it was me and my brother, and like I was like, you know what, you can have the bigger room. I'm gonna have the most badass fucking room here. It is really badass. Like I really don't care. I realize now that I'm a quote unquote grown ass man that a lot of people will judge me and that I probably shouldn't be in this room.
Fuck
But
that.
I like it. I like it a lot. I have my computer. I have my giant TV, and I want to make this clear. I do not have a giant TV. If it was up to me, I'd have like 100-inch screen. But for my room, that is a giant.
Sure.
fire in the sky.
You're only like 4 feet away from it.
I'm not even 4. There isn't 4 feet in the room to be away
That's
from it.
amazing.
Yeah, so that's my room.
That's great. Wait until you move into San Francisco and you have to share that room with someone else to afford the rent
Yeah,
and the
I
parking.
mean,
You can rent the crawl space for $400.
Rent this room.
I bet you if
Sleep
we
on the
put that
table.
crawl space on Craigslist, we could rent that out for $400.
I guarantee you could.
You could sleep in there. Absolutely.
It'd be terrifying. I'm terrified of crawl spaces
Why?
because of bugs.
This isn't an outdoor crawl space.
Might be a bug in there. I'm not gonna know. It's so dark.
Well, you'd have
there's
a light.
1,000 ladybugs in there.
Dude, if I saw a room full of 1,000 ladybugs, I would freak
1,000
out.
ladybugs. Like when I hear that,
It's like a
I'm
handful of
Yeah, it's like
ladybugs.
a handful. It was a little unimpressive.
All in the room.
Next time
like,
we're
front
gonna
of
order
the
like
room, everywhere you look,
$100
there's a
worth.
ladybug on it. It's terrifying.
No, they're not gonna.
they're
They're
all
gonna go to
looking
the
at you?
corners. They're all gonna go. They don't even know what the fuck. They're like the cows.
We're trying to
and the
find a
bugs.
cool place. What was it?
cool shrubs.
Shrubs in a cool place.
Cool place to hang out.
Hang out.
That's all they want.
That's all that they want.
All
everything they've ever wanted in
They
life.
want. Do we cover what stupid thing you spent money on this, Colin?
I don't buy stupid things.
Even when you were a kid, you didn't buy something stupid.
I don't have any specifics. All I know is that when I was a kid and I had money, I spent it.
Yeah.
Always. I had a shit ton of hockey cards. No idea why I did that.
Right.
Played a lot of customizable card games. Don't know why I did that. Bought an exorbitant amount of video games, especially when I had a job as a teenager. Bought like fucking every video game. You know, I just spent all my money. I never had more than a couple $100s ever until I was in college. Like to my name. Never. I think I saved $400 once to buy a TV. Other than that, it was just like, I just didn't, So the bigger thing is that I wish I could have the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars I spent back when I was a kid on just whatever the fuck I was buying. Hey guys, you want to go see Mission to Mars and then go to Wendy's and then go to the mall and buy a fucking Dreamcast game? It's like, all right, cool. And then I'd go there with $100 and then I'd come back with nothing.
Right.
And I'd have like fucking Blue Stinger on Dreamcast.
I think about that all the time. All the dumb movies you go see just because there's nothing else to do. Really, if you could just tell yourself to sock that money away, play the games you have friends come over to watch your VHSs or whatever.
Dude, like that's a great. I used to go to the movies all the time, which was so funny because I don't go to the movies at all anymore. I used to go to the movies. I probably go to the movies literally 50 times a year.
Yeah, well, that's
like,
all
and
the
it was
hand
like,
jobs.
oh yeah, of course. But I would say I saw like everything. Like during that period, like 98 to 2002, 2003.
That's all there
I
was,
saw, like,
though. That's all
fucking
there was to
everything.
do. It was like cable television wasn't prevalent. Games, you couldn't afford them that much when you were a kid. And even if you could, there wasn't that many good ones out to play. It wasn't like 8 systems were contributing into, it was like you had a Nintendo or Sega. That was it, right?
I made it happen.
More is not always better.
Yeah, no.
Like for me, like growing up in Riverside, that's all there was to do. It was like too hot to do anything else. I was chubby, so physical exercise was just out of the question.
It's like soccer or
Go sit and watch Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
And there used to be
Gremlins 2 is a good movie. That
not
deserved
about
your
that,
money.
It's very true. But back when I was a
Hogan?
kid, I used to be religious about checking out. I would know exactly what was coming out, like within 2 months of everything, and I would plan, and that was it.
That's what I feel the same way. Like, we all have that same childhood experience, I guess, of just like seeing everything. But that was the thing I remember, especially when even Blockbuster, in my high school days when they switched over to like, the unlimited summers or whatever, where you could just rent on blah blah. Like, I'd see everything. And I remember going to my friend's house and talking, and their parents were trying to pick a movie to watch, and I knew all of them. And they were so impressed with that. Now, like at Comic-Con this year, I'm sitting there talking to Roth and Eric and Joshua about movies and stuff, and I'm like, I haven't seen that. I'm not gonna see that. Movies. I'm like, theaters need to die. Everything needs to go day and date digital. And they were like horrified that I was saying. They're ranting all these movies. I'm like, I have not seen any of those. I don't. And they're TV shows. I'm like, I don't watch TV. I don't know. It's like, wow. It's funny how much it's changed. To know, everything I watch is either on YouTube or I'm playing video games. And usually I'm playing video games. Mm-hmm. Weird. Different strokes. You're excused.
I still love seeing movies.
Ladies and gentlemen, That's another episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, every week 4, sometimes 5, and yourself, of course, best friends gather around this table, each bringing a random topic of conversation for discussion. If you like that, check us out every Friday on GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com, where we post the MP3 for $1. If you don't think we're worth that dollar, don't worry. We don't think we are either. So go to youtube.com/GameOverGreggy. Monday through Thursday, every topic is posted as a video and broken out one by one for your enjoyment before the whole show goes up on Friday. But you can go back to Bandcamp, get the MP3 for the next week because we did so good this week.
Ooh.
Did you like that?
You're gonna want to do that.
Yeah,
Next week's.
You know, yeah,
Next
doozy.
week's is gonna be good.
Something's coming.
Yeah, but you're not going to get next week's unless you buy this week and listen to it. Because there's so many different call-outs in this week that are going to go in next week.
Man.
It's going to blow your mind.
Remember to
This
vote
is
on
the
Nick's
prequel.
topics.
To next week's episode.
Go to districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy. Buy t-shirts. We have a coffee cup now and stickers.
We have a mug and 2 stickers.
Yeah.
So slap
That's
those on
exciting.
something exciting and go after it.
Wow. That was an awesome statement.
Slap those on something awesome and go after it. Make that no shirt.
There you go. Until next time, thanks for being our best friend. And big ups to T-Dog.
I
I didn't know if we were still doing that, but that was we got
Did
it.
We
nailed
nailed it. We're fucking pros. We're
Pretty
adults.
great.
We're professionals.
Okay.
All right.